One shall stand, and one shall fall. You've got the touch. You've got the power. What's up, everybody? Station. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. In fact, it's time for a PCP movie night. I am Rockin Robbie Billups, and tonight we're gathered here with the PCP crew. Excitable we are. We're going to be talking about Transformers. My bad. The Transformers, the movie, 1986. Speaking of 1986, wasn't life better back then? Old Jelani, how are you doing?
Yeah, dude, I was like in kindergarten or something. It was fantastic. Beautiful, man. Station. And, yeah, brother. Yeah, it's good to see you. Good to be a part of this, man. This is an awesome flick to work with. I love this one. I can tell you themes and music and all that stuff.
Oh, I'm excited. We're ready for it. You know how we do here on PCP Movie Night? It's kind of like the Book of the Month Club, but for us, it's the movie of the week. This week's movie was Transformers. Speaking of Transformers, one of the biggest proponents in the Excitable PCP crew about this movie is the one and the only Mike06. Mike, station. Muted hear you, brother.
It happened again.
No, it didn't. I was muted.
Was that a bit?
I muted myself, though, so I guess I'm going to start with all my intros like that from now on, just coming in like in silence.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's the greatest thing. Thank you for being here, Mike.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Excited to talk about Transformers, I'm assuming.
Yep. Yes, I am. Yep.
We haven't had this dashing presence here on the live streams for a moment, but I'm very happy to have him back. Brand new and revitalized is the all-new, all-different Dashing Drew Matson.
Yo! What's going on?
What is up? Thank you for being here to talk about, I think, one of your favorite movies, Transformers. My bad. The Transformers, the movie.
The Transformers, the movie, 1986. You gotta quantify it so much.
Yes. Speaking of quantification, you can't quantify Brooks, the magnificent Micro Mario Master Mutant Monster Machine. What's up, my man?
What's up?
And sometimes, what does that say?
Juju.
Juju? What the?
The dog.
It's dog behind it.
Back there
Oh,
staring.
yeah.
Oh, hey, Juju.
What's up?
Didn't see him till he yawned.
All right, tonight we're talking about
my video. I might as well give her some credit.
You might as well. She's Brooks plus Juju, right? That's the whole thing there. So Transformers was an animated film, obviously. My bad. The Transformers, the movie, was an animated film that was released theatrically, starring a star-studded cast, right? Orson Welles, Robert Stack, Leonard Nimoy, Judd Nelson, Eric Idle. Why? Why not? Right? I guess that's the idea. It has great music by Vince DiCola, right? DiCola, whatever. Vince DiCola. It's the guy who did Rocky 4. The music's great. We'll get to that. Dude, this is a crazy movie. I really like it. It's directed by Nelson Shin. It came out in 1986. It did not make its budget back. It made $5.8 million on a $6 million budget. But I'll tell you this. The first time I watched Transformers, The Transformers, the movie. First time I watched it was in like my early 20s, right? Like it was like there was a DVD that came out at some point in the early 2000s. I got that. I watched it. At that point, all I had ever, and even to this day, all I've ever really watched of the show is the first season. I'm sure when I was a kid, I watched scattered bits here and there, but I remember the first season. So I remember watching that movie and being really lost, confused, taken aback by how quickly they just kill off all these people that I'm familiar with, introduce all these new people I wasn't familiar with. Now, here we are, 20 years since I've watched this movie, probably, pretty much, right? And I had so much fun with it, man. Like, this movie is wild. It's rambunctious. It knows exactly what it's trying to do. So this bridges season 2 to 3, I think, of the series, right? And they were basically just trying to make ways to sell new toys. You know, right? Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, Galvatron, Unicron. Let's make some new toys, right? But obviously Transformers, all those 80s shows that we love, those animated shows when we were kids, they were trying to sell toys, and we still love them today because of that. But altogether, my experience on rewatching this was fantastic. The music, the tone, it is so 80s. It is so just ridiculous. I feel it's got some pacing issues. We can think about it critically later on, but overall, what do you think about this film on the rewatch, Jelani?
Man, oh man, of Shevitz, this movie is good. This is by far one of my favorite movies. This movie taught me about death. It gave me like a real purpose is death. When I was a kid, I watched Transformers every morning when it came on, like every morning. I was about some Optimus Prime, and I loved that junk. I would go to school that morning, and we'd talk about Transformers. That's what we did. A WZDX Stock 54. We'll never forget it. Yep, love them. Watched that show religiously. Went to go see this movie. Talked my mom into doing it. She was like, you got to do your chores. You got to do your things, but you get your money together, you can watch this movie. We went to University 6 and watched this movie. It was me and my mom and my dad. We all sat down. We watched this movie. Of course, my dad wasn't interested. He thought it was pretty cool colors. My mom was all with me, but I was transfixed on the screen because I was like, oh my gosh, all my favorite characters are here. And then they did something so horrible that made me cry. I cried for so long. And I thought that one thing would be fixed by the end of the movie, and it wasn't. And I got home and I cried the whole rest of the time. I didn't know really about death until my mom explained death to me after I watched this movie. Things end. Things end all of the time. And this movie teaches you that. Not only that, it's action-packed. It's action-packed all the way through. I love this film. I recommend it to everybody and their mama. But before we do that,
It is action-packed. It's got a lot of great action scenes that for the time I would estimate that they were state of the art animation, right? Mm-hmm. Like, or at least some of the bits in the film. You can definitely tell that some were kind of done the way they did the show, and then others were done like way better. Like that opening scene with Unicron coming in. And so the basic idea is like there's this Galactus Death Star thing out there, right? Called Unicron. It's coming. It's just like sucking up all these planets. And I love that all these planets, by the way, have like
robot people,
robot people on them. So
there's so many Transformers.
Yeah, there's a whole goddamn galaxy of them. Apparently, like let's get into that.
They shot the cars.
And so he shows up, and then you have this whole idea of like this movie. If you weren't like, if you're not familiar at all with Transformers, like I don't know what this movie will do for you. Now it is better than any of the Michael Bay shit, I think. But I've only seen the first two, to be honest. But It really just like throws into it, right? And it's got a lot of comparisons structurally to Star Wars. We'll get to that. Speaking of Star Wars, Mike, what do you think about this film?
I enjoyed it. I remember seeing this at Madison Square 12. I think this might have been my first movie at Madison Square 12. So it was going to the nice theater because it was either like the University 6, Cinema 8, or Madison Square 12, and Madison Square 12 was the new theater in town, so it was kind of like a big deal. I went with my friend, and I cannot remember who it was. That's kind of bad of me. But then again, like, I don't know, it's 1986. But I had fun. I enjoyed it. It's got a great soundtrack. A lot of similarities with Star Wars. I didn't cry when Optimus Prime did it.
Jelani is right now.
That joke is awful, son.
I like Optimus Prime, but I'm not a big Optimus Prime fan. So like it didn't. So that's why it didn't affect me. Like I was more devastated that Proud did it than Optimus. So
that was sucked.
To me, Proud's death was very graphic and kind of shocking. Even when I watched it last night, wow. Now apparently a lot of kids like did cry in the theater, and the reaction caused Hasbro to change the idea that Duke dying in the G.I. Joe film into just going into a coma.
Yeah.
So,
he's gonna make it.
Spoilers, Optimus does come back at the end of season 3, right? So it's not all dark.
Not in that movie.
I watched this one dude, he's Brandon something, he's on YouTube. He does these really like funny, satirically snarky movie reviews and reflections on things, and he did this movie, and he was like, every time a character died, he was like, remember kids, it's because you didn't buy enough Starscream toys. Speaking of not buying enough Starscream toys, Drew, what do you think about this movie overall, especially on the revisit?
I didn't buy a Starscream toy, you're right. But no, I loved it. I mean, I'm younger, so I didn't ever see it in theaters. I watched it on a VHS in 1995. My brother had recorded it. And I still love it, man. Like this, I bought these. Like that's the actual cover by the cover artist who did the anniversary version. I sought that out. It's right here. And I've got the Hot Rod Till All Are One over here. I had to dig these out because I just moved into this place.
Till All Are One.
Yeah, but I love it. Like it's simultaneously goofy and then just dark out of nowhere. And
randomly, that'd be stupid.
Yeah, which I am a huge Weird Al Yankovic fan, and he was my first concert. Like I have his autograph, so Dare to Be Stupid in this movie is just the crowning thing. I love it so much.
I love that scene too. They're on the junkyard planet. They're trying to like make peace with these people. Meanwhile, all this terrible shit literally just happened. And then they do this whole, like dancing thing.
Yeah, they're just dancing because it's like, oh yeah, universal greeting. Eric Idle, just
I remember the first time I watched the DVD of this in the early 2000s. I was like, is that Devo? And I was like, oh no, that's that Weird Al song that's meant to be like Devo. Dare to Be Stupid. Speaking of daring to be stupid, Brooks and Juju, what do you think about this film?
I liked it. I was not a big Transformers kid back in the day. Like I remember having like a couple. Like I remember I think it was one of the Insecticons or whatever with the snap-on armor stuff.
Cool.
But Transformers wasn't a big thing for me. Like I wasn't as familiar with it. But I like this movie a lot actually. It's because it's just so crazy. Like it's just like it just hits full speed ahead from fucking jump.
Yeah.
And it's so brutal. Like you see all like I like watch all this beginning. Like at the beginning, I'm like, man, just like I was actually a Transformers guy who like actually knew these characters. I'd probably be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
they're just getting mowed the fuck down.
They kill Wheeljack like it's nothing.
They kill all of them like it's nothing, bro.
All of them like it's nothing.
By the way,
it's like the guys were like, okay, like you guys are free to kill like any character from the first toy line.
No,
Just
not
kill him.
any character, because apparently Bumblebee sold well.
Bumblebee
So
and
they
Jazz.
kept him alive. And Jazz, yeah.
I was gonna be
But,
so
like,
mad if they killed
okay.
Bumblebee.
So, like, here's the thing. Optimus gets like kind of like a gut shot, right? Kinda, but it's kind of just like right here, right? And then he dies. It's a sad moment. Like when he turns gray, like that's sad. The more shocking one to me is Prowl, right? But like when Optimus goes, it's really sad. Why in the hell does Ultra Magnus get literally ripped apart? And then they just like, oh,
put it back
Here you
together.
go. Here you go.
Spick and span, man. Just
Here you go. Nothing's
what
wrong.
the hell was that? I don't. Where does their soul lie? Where does it
It's a
reside?
double fuck you. Yeah, it's
Because
a double
they're-
fuck.
Maybe Ultramax was secretly Constructicons the whole time.
I don't know.
But they were on the
And-
junk planet, and the junk planet fixed
The
them.
junk
And
planet.
then, yeah. But it doesn't matter. It's still like we had Optimus Prime and we could have fixed him. Why did you fix him? And they couldn't fix him because they killed them too.
Yeah,
So,
no kidding, right?
It's
because they
so
didn't
much
have
fun.
Eric Idle. That's why.
They didn't have Eric Idle the second time.
Speaking of Eric Idle, this movie has an incredibly insane cast. I believe that at least half the budget was spent on getting that cast, right? Leonard Nimoy, Orson Welles, Eric Idle, Judd Nelson, the hot new star, Judd Nelson. This is, from fresh off of Breakfast Club, and he's going to be Hot Rod introduced. And like, this was the introduction of a lot of these characters, right? So when I first watched this movie in my early 20s, I was like, who are these people? Like, I vaguely knew Ultra Magnus, but I was like, who the hell is Hot Rod and why is it Judd Nelson, right? But they're trying to sell new toys. But I think that the cast, they all do incredibly well. So my favorite performance is the final performance of the great Orson Welles. He was never knighted, but PCP will go ahead and officially knight him. Station, you are now knighted posthumously, Orson Welles, into the Excitable PCP crew. So now we can refer to him as a friend of the show. Orson Welles, friend of the show. This was his final performance, and he didn't really know what he was doing or really put it in high regard. And at the end of his life, he was kind of a drunken buffoon. But it's
A jerk.
But at least his last movie is memorable in his performance, right? So apparently the performance is probably 20% him and 80% the sound department, because at this point his vocals were so weak, right? And you can tell that there's not a lot behind the delivery at times until he dies. And then I was like, well, that was a powerful moment, right? But like, even just, it had this presence, right? And they don't give you shit of information about Unicron. Like at all. But it's still just like amazing to me, and it's better than selling frozen peas. So that was my favorite. So what's a performance you would like to highlight? A performance, character, whatever, Jelani?
Till all are one. Of course, man. God dang, Optimus Prime, man. Peter Cullen. It will always be Peter Cullen for me. Like that he's my Optimus Prime is my favorite Transformer. The second would be Bumblebee. And I like Bumblebee because he's small in stature, but he got the job done. He's always cool and feisty. But Optimus Prime is the leader of the Autobots. He's the only one in that movie that was like taking folks down single-handedly. They had so much trouble with like 9 Decepticons. They had 9 Decepticons coming after them, and like they couldn't deal with Autobot City. Optimus Prime comes in there and you got the touch, and like messes everybody up.
And then he dies, bro.
He horribly dies.
But he kills Megatron. Well, he fatally wounds Megatron.
He fatally wounds Megatron. He double axe handled the crap out of him. It was perfect.
Oh, by the way, why did neither the Decepticon? Why did they never do this before? Because it just seems like this was too easy.
This is a perfect plan. They had to wait. Like Laserbeak, apparently they knew their plans. Laserbeak knew their plans, so they were like, "We got him now."
I get it.
Yeah, so they this time they had the upper hand on them.
It just seems like, how many times did all of these characters shoot at each other and then
or get shot and be okay and be fine, or we can repair you. But nope, this time nope. Prowl's dead. Huffer's dead. I don't have the people.
Cliffjumper gets like gangster.
He lives. Cliff Red Jumper lives.
Jumper lives.
Kill
Did he? Who's the one that died when like Megatron stepped on him and blew his face off? Who was that?
Ironhide. That's
Ironhide.
Yeah,
Ironhide and Ratchet got killed.
The other red Autobot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love the Decepticons. Autobots all blur into one for me.
Yeah, but it was so like it's so dark at the very beginning. Like you shouldn't have kids like deal with that because you shouldn't have kids look at that to begin with.
I don't know what they thought they were doing, bro.
Let's just kill them. Who cares? Let's just shoot them with their lasers. They're robots. Who cares? You know. But like the cartoon show had been going on for 2 seasons, so like they've been shot at and repaired so many different times. But yeah, I'll go with Optimus Prime. He gets stabbed. He gets stabbed in the side. Then he gets shot in the side. Then he gets shot. Then he gets stabbed with that laser sword. Oh God, so much stuff happens to his left side, and that's it. But yeah, Peter Cullen's the best. Optimus Prime is the best. He is my favorite.
Oh, I just fucked up my whole left side.
Whole left side.
Peter Cullen. It's a shame that him and Frank Welker didn't really get a top billing because of all the other voices that were attached to this. But both of those voices iconic, not just in Transformers history, but just in animation history, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of animated history, this guy has a history of being animated. Mike, who's your favorite performance in this film?
I got 2 I'm going with. And it's also because of the history and the history of the show. It would be Scatman Carruthers doing the voice of Jazz and Casey Kasem doing the voice of Cliff Jumper. They've done so much in the animation department. Voices. They did a whole bunch with Hanna-Barbera, everything from
Casey is Robin.
Yeah. I can't remember. He was Shaggy, wasn't he?
I think he's Shaggy as well. Yeah.
And then
a lot of Hanna-Barbera shit.
A lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff. So it's just like they're just 2 iconic voices, and it's nice to see them reprise the role. And also they got to continue a little bit after the movie into the new season. So, and then it's just kind of like.
I was just gonna say, I'm sorry I made that mistake of Cliff Jumper and Ironhide. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I was gonna say because Wheeljack dies, and then.
Off screen, Herminio says.
Off screen, and it's like when RC's dragging that body, and Springer's like, "Come on and help me." That's what she's carrying Wind Charger, and like you see Wind Charger, she puts Wind Charger next to Wheeljack, and it's just like, what? Like Wheeljack's death got me because it was just like, I can't believe they got him too. So
I got all that first wave, except for I guess the reason why Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee made it because they were I remember they were the smaller, cheaper ones, right?
Yeah,
it's easy for them to make.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I was gonna say that was it for me though.
Now, speaking of smaller and cheaper, Drew, what about you? What's one of your favorite performances in this film?
Smaller, I don't know. Cheaper, definitely. But my favorite. I
was referring to the Taco Bell menu. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, that's true. But there was one person who had no problem with any Decepticons throughout the entire movie, or Beast, Sharkticons, whatever, and that was Grimlock. Grimlock is my favorite. By far. Me Grimlock, no bozo. Me Grimlock King! Greg Berger, he's the best. I love Grimlock in anything. In the video games, he's incredible, and in this, he's just so funny. Especially because they can't get hit. Like he's just mowing down Decepticons as they're coming by while they're trying to get him on the ship, and he's like, "What are you doing? I'm killing things. Leave me alone." And like all of the Dinobots were like. Not a big deal in the TV show, even though I liked them a lot. But just to get them see like a lot of screen time in the movie and be them hilarious is incredible. I love them so much.
I love the Dinobots, and I was very excited to see them all survive this film. To be honest with you, and I Grimlock's a great one. And I love when they're trying to get his because he's so dumb, and they're trying to get him into the plane or jet or whatever it is, and he won't fit, And I was he's like the Winnie the Pooh of Transformers, man.
Well, that's why I like them explaining. they probably do in the comics, and I know they do in the game. It's like they experimented on Grimlock, and it was like they made him a lot stronger, but they made him dumb as a rock.
Yeah, right. Like,
because before the experiment started him into a Dinobot, like he was fine, like he was just a soldier.
It's like Maul from Wildcats. The stronger he gets, the dumber he gets. Jim Mintz here from Jim Mint Collectibles Station. Jim Mint, he says, you don't review this movie, it reviews you.
That's true.
That is true. Speaking of reviewing you, Brooks is the most judgmental motherfucker I've ever met. Brooks, who's your favorite performance in this entire film?
It's a brief but brilliant one, I think, by Starscream in this one. I think Starscream is my favorite. Like, I know that's not like a hot take, but Starscream is like the most entertaining character in the.
He's the most Starscream he's ever been in this movie.
That's how Megatron is how we say departed.
This is my favorite fucking Transformer character, bro. Just
he's
period.
so good.
He's so petty. And
he
kicks Megatron and Thundercracker and he just kicks him off the plane, and he like puts on a cape and a crown, and he's like holding a disco party for the Decepticons, and like Soundwave's like, I don't know about this, bro. And then like Galvatron, all that shit happens, and then he comes back, he just gets got, bro.
Dusted.
I think Starscream's death was sadder to me than Optimus Prime's.
He finally had the power.
He only had the king for like a few seconds.
Like a second. What the star is leader of the Decepticons?
Starscream's like goddamn fucking Wesley Snipes at the end of New Jack City.
I loved in
So
your
fair.
opening, by the way, you had the random split of I guess it was a Super Smash Brothers meme where it's like Starscream turns around with the cape and it's like Starscream leads the way. I lost it. I was muted. I lost it.
Yeah, I found that one. I was like, I gotta use that.
It's so good.
And his like moment is so brief.
Yeah.
10 seconds later, out of here.
He
You're
gets
done.
got because Unicron shows up, and here's one of my things I did not like and still don't like. I think Leonard Nimoy, who we didn't mention, deserves to be mentioned because he does a great job here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's got a great voice, and it's cool. But he's not Welker, and that's the voice. I like put Leonard Nimoy in as something else. You get what I'm saying? Like he could have
been Cyclonus. He could.
Cyclonus is useless in this fucking movie, man.
They'll do nothing with Cyclonus.
Oh, useless.
The sweeps. I'm like, why?
Just an introduction. It's just an introduction.
An introduction. They're setting up. At the time they were making this, the animators were also doing season 3. So yeah, that seems to be part of the inconsistency and the standard of the. But Leonard Nimoy does a great job. But I was always bothered that, first of all, I like that Galvatron turns into a big enough gun.
Bigger gun.
Like he doesn't have to like become this small ass gun that.
Oh, Mr. Dream.
And like, I don't know, man, whatever. That's always been silly to me. That's why I like Tank Megatron better personally. But especially when he's
I like guns.
fucking green and purple, because like a Decepticons, they're aliens. They would be like, this is what tanks look like. Right. But where was I going with that? So I really like Leonard Nimoy, but I think that Welker deserved to actually do a different version of his voice for Megatron into Galvatron. I think that would have been really, really cool to see. Also, Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus. Dude, seriously, that's the voice of Unsolved Mysteries. That's badass. And Judd Nelson,
he's harsh.
He's there, and he's fine. Hot Rod's kind of the reason Optimus Prime died. Let's be honest. And so I think Hot Rod's probably the most overrated Transformer and Autobot out there, but whatever. What do you think about the style and structure of this film? The writing, the animation. I think the story is okay. I think it really lulls. It lulls when it gets to the Sharkticons and the whole kangaroo court type thing or whatever that is. Like, I'm like, okay, can we get back to it? But every time it does get back to it, it's all just explosive action and people die and all kinds of crazy stuff. Everybody dies in this movie except for Ultra Magnus, and I don't understand that. Except for he was a badass toy. Let's be honest.
Daniel survived.
What?
Daniel survived.
Here's another thing. Can I applaud the screenwriters for not putting the humans in here too much?
Thank you for that. Yeah, especially that kid.
Like 100%. I know Jelani hates movies with kids, but I bet he doesn't Daniel doesn't bother him probably.
I don't
And
mind
Spike says shit in this movie, man.
Mm-mm.
Oh
He's
shit!
not a kid anymore.
But
Yeah,
what
he
are we
does.
gonna do? He's like
Yeah.
Shaggy. You know? He's like, what are we gonna
Well,
do?
What
What do
do
It was,
you?
it
what do
was
you think
PG.
Yeah, it was PG.
was
What do you
PG.
think about the in '86? You could get away with a lot. In fact,
Yeah.
16 Candles, which was pre '86, had full frontal, or not full frontal. My
There's
bad.
a shit in this movie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well,
Can't believe they
us
forgot my
mentioned that.
goddamn birthday.
The reason that they just say the word shit in the movie at all is just so it's bumped up to PG instead of G, because PG had more screenings.
That
So-
makes sense, but
Yeah.
just the toying with children's emotions had to have given it a PG to begin with, right?
Apparently, it was still going to be a G. They just had to be like, "Oh shit."
That's like, yeah, there's the got to throw a shit in there so that, like, you know, when moms get mad that we killed
Yeah.
Optimus Prime, their kids' favorite toys right in front of their eyes after they paid $5 for a movie ticket. I don't know what movie tickets were in '86. They're probably $1. What is this, 1956? Anyway, moving on. What do you think about the style, structure, animation, story? What do you think about it, Jelani?
This is a great story. Like, I was surprised because the last time I had watched this movie before this rewatch was 20 years ago. So I watched it like an age ago, and I was like, you know, I loved it then. I love it more now. I don't know why I loved it more now. It's just so much. It's so entertaining. It's action packed from beginning to end. They were talking about the scene with the Autobot City being attacked, and Autobot City was attacked, and it took like it was an all-day battle. So they fought through Autobot City. Then they had to fight in the air or in space. Then they fought, you know, they just fought constantly. They had to fight with Retgar and those Junkticons. They fought so much in this movie, and it's nonstop. So I loved all of the pace. I like the pacing of it. I don't know what it is about it, but it keeps you entertained. And I was going to say before, my mom didn't want me to see this because it was PG. Because I was so little, but I talked her into it because she was like, "I love these," and I let her watch one with me, and she was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess you'll watch it. Yeah, I can watch it with you." But it tells a great story. The only thing that makes me mad about the whole movie would be basically Ultra Magnus gets to live and Optimus dies. I think that's about it.
I can't get it open.
I don't have the touch. Open. But yeah, it's a great story. I don't know how to say it any better than that. I mean, I could watch this like 12 more times, and still get it. You know, so
I think 5 minutes could be shaved off this movie because I think the Sharkticon thing goes on a bit too long. That whole court thing comes out of nowhere.
Quintessence.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes a cool toy. I just got recently released or whatever, but I'll tell you one thing that this movie does successfully. Still, like, what is it, 30 something years later, right? It's selling toys still, because I was messaging Mike last night. I was like, bruh, have they done like, I want the Cyclonus, and have they done, like, I was just asking questions, and I was looking up, I was like, I think 150 is not too bad for a Devastator. I was looking at these things today. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me, man? I really want an Ultra Magnus, though. Speaking of Ultra Magnus, Mike, what do you think about the story, style, structure, animation of the film?
Well, the Ultra Magnus is ordered. I have to reorder the Astro Train and the Cyclonus, unless you.
That was the one I asked you. I was like, did they make an Astro Train?
Yeah, they just redid the Astro Train.
I want an Astro Train.
I have an Astro Train. That's a Walmart exclusive, isn't it?
Nope, it's for anybody. No, I ordered them, but I got shorted. So,
okay.
But then again, like I said, most.
By the way, people out there talking about Blur in the film, like out there in the chat, Blur to me was the most obnoxious. That was the Micro Machine dude.
I hate Wheelie.
When's Blur gonna die?
Is Wheelie the little tiny dude?
Wheelie's a little tiny one.
Yeah, he's the
Wheelie's
worst.
the one that's hanging out with the Dinobots.
Yeah, he's the worst. Anyway, Mike, what do you think?
I thought Sunbow and Marvel did a great job with this. Like they had a few errors. It's the same people. Sunbow and Marvel are the same ones that did the cartoon and the G.I. Joe. So they had a few production errors that kind of left everything out, like which Decepticon became Cyclonus. We still don't know. There was another Transformers YouTube channel that's got that has their little take on it, and I just thought they did an all around great job. The Blur was, I don't know, Blur wasn't that bad. So, but it was it was the setup to sell new toys.
When he was there, he sucked.
It was just funny watching Blur trying to get the Grimlock into the ship. So, but, like, that was the point of him. So, I think the runtime on it was fine. I don't think anything needs to be shaved off. The story was great. The writing was fun. They also had this in mind. I'm pretty sure they did. To be cut down into episodic. So each one would be like cut into 20 minutes because
that's why when Eric Idle shows up, he does that little like mustache twitchy moment, and then it like literally cuts to commercial in the movie.
Yeah, it has like a couple of cut to commercial moments in it.
There are, yeah.
Right. And then like too, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if what we're watching is the actual theatrical release or the re-release of that edited all together. So, but that they made that for they knew what they were doing for that because they continued that same theme with the Five Faces of Darkness. The other five episode movie that came later. So
Springer was the helicopter guy.
Springer's actually a triple changer. He's the green. He's the helicopter and the car.
Yeah,
he's the one with the sword that fights.
Have they done him?
Yeah,
the new one?
I don't. Yeah, they've done. He's not in this newest. He's not in this newest line. He came out during the
Siege. Or
Headmasters.
for Siege.
There's the Headmasters.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway,
Titan's Return is when his figure came out.
What do you think about the animation style in the movie? You're a big fan of the series, so compared to the series, what do you think about the animation, Mike?
Well, I mean, it's Sunbow. Sunbow and Marvel did the TV show, and they also did the movie, so it was spot on. But like they always have these quick cut inconsistencies. Like when you watch the show, and it's just like the color's all wrong. It's that video I was showing you the other day. It kind of explains it. Like
I heard they fixed a lot of that in the latest Blu-ray release for Shout Factory.
Okay, because that's probably
colorization and stuff like that. But like definitely there are moments in the animation where it looks like it's more. There's more money spent on the production. It's more detailed. It's got more frames that they're using. Like the opening when Unicron's sucking that planet up, that looks amazing. And they definitely changed their style to be more like the. At the time, kind of groundbreaking in America anime movies, right? They were really capturing that style. And
those were some of the first toy movies, too, because I think it was like Inhumanoids, My Little Pony, Rainbow Bright, Care Bears, G.I. Joe and Transformers.
That Care Bears movie, when we doing that, y'all?
Let's do it in March.
Nah, we got March planned out. Speaking of getting everything planned out, Drew, what do you think about the style and structure of the film and the animation?
I like that it was like noticeably darker and it's almost entirely action. Like the slow parts are like when they're messing with the quintessence. And I like that it's not on Earth. I like that it's actually like you explore more space, and shockingly, because they didn't want to change animation styles too much, they're like, yeah, you know what? Robots are on every planet, whatever.
I like that though. It fills it out.
I know.
They're exploring different things. That's cool.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not a 10-minute segment of a dude giving his mom pot brownies.
I like that it's that it's
I hate all those
that
movies.
organics are more like outside the norm. Like, yeah, no, everything's mechanical in space. What's wrong with you? You're the weird person.
Yeah,
I like that humans just take a back seat because they should. It's like no one cares. Like get out of here. You're here to be like, oh no. I wish Michael Bay had done that instead of half an hour of Linkin Park and Shia LaBeouf.
He's twitching.
Hey guys, I think I found a transformer.
They didn't figure that out until Bumblebee, that we actually cared about the robots more than the humans.
Nobody watched the Transformer movie for the humans.
And they went back to G1 designs too. That's why that movie's better. Like, it's the best movie since this one.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen that one, so I should watch it.
Yes, watch.
Yeah, it's much better than any of Michael Bay's.
And here's the thing, though. You mentioned the darker tone. Who are they making this movie for? Like, they know their audience. They know who's buying these toys. They know who's watching this animated series. Who did they make this movie for? Because it doesn't seem like they necessarily made it for their audience.
Well, one of the things that I was going to want to mention was if we could find an old VHS copy of it compared to the redone Sunbow to see if there's, because the Chop Factory, they could have edited in to make it a little more darker. I just don't, like it said, the difference between the VHS release
there were
and
things
the anniversary.
There were things cut out from different versions, you know, like the word shit was cut out some, and it was cut down in a different way, kind of like, I guess, Josie, which we talked about last year.
Right.
But I mean, last year, it's been a long year already, y'all.
It is.
But it's just a really interesting that they did this dark style, because it's like, bro, like, man, you wrecked some people's lives. Like, it's like really, they're legitimately people. And I watched this, like I said, in my 20s. So like, I didn't have the only connection I have with these characters necessarily as nostalgia goes because of toys. Speaking of nostalgia, simply because of toys. The only reason why I like Brooks is because he has a lot of cool toys. Most of them sexual in nature. Brooks, what do you think about the style, structure, and animation of the film?
I thought this movie was like animated. Like, I was actually kind of surprised how good the animation was, because I remember, like, you know, American animation, especially back in the 80s, wasn't really usually that good. Like the beginning, like with the whole Unicron, like coming down and like eating the planet scene, it made me think of like Akira, like kind of the same kind of animation style. And there was one part like that I thought was kind of amusing, is when Daniel, you know, he has the mech suit and he transforms in the mech suit. It made me think, you remember that Clerks animated series?
Yeah.
How they had like the guys driving in the car and the car transforms and like blood comes gushing out of it. I thought, wouldn't that have been funny if like it transformed and like it just stopped and dropped and like Daniel, you see a pool of blood coming out.
I think that's one of the best, smallest little bits in that Clerks animated series, man, is when that transformer transforms and it just like blood pulls out of it. Man. Here's the thing, like,
about that.
I hated Spike in the animated series. Like, I've only seen
he's a human
one, but I hated him. Right? He just annoyed me. He's cool as an adult, and his son is not too bad because he's not really used so much in this film. Right? In fact, the most annoying character to me in this film might be Hot Rod, because like, you're the reason Optimus died. I don't know why the Matrix of Leadership like opens up for you.
He touched it first. I think it's because he touched it first.
Well, literally,
he grabbed it. Yeah,
he grabbed it.
It's Robert fucking Stack. Like, that should be enough. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the music. The music in this film is iconic. Absolutely iconic. Now, the actual score was done by Vince DiCola, who was he had just come off of Rocky IV. You can literally interchange the music between the two films. But then you got all these awesome bits with like Stan Bush doing his stuff, right? You've got the touch. And apparently that was originally written for Cobra. Like, could you imagine? Like, I want to see a cut of Sylvester Stallone's Cobra with the touch, like, just spread throughout all of it, right? And apparently there's a remixed version of that in Bumblebee. Really? Wow. Also Dare, and you know, we already talked about it, but I want to say this real quick. The music is great. It's so cheesy, 1986, like metal.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite song out of all of them, and so many are iconic. And Stan Bush has done some iconic shit, especially Bloodsport. His contributions to Bloodsport, y'all. Like, I listen to that weekly, right? His Bloodsport work. But my favorite song in here is Lion's version of the Transformers theme. It is like so freaking epic, and all the weird syncopation of the whole idea of the Autobots are here to find the evil skins of the Decepticons. Like, that's so off like tempo when you watch the original series, but like the way it works for that 80s metal version, like, just I fucking love it. Jelani, what do you think about the music? What's your favorite song?
I think this is the best hair metal music I've ever heard. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's not bad at all. Yeah, Transformers. I mean, it's so clean. It's Weird Al Yankovic's Dare to Be Stupid. It's so many memorable songs in this movie where you're just like, I was watching this with Hitman, and he apparently watches this movie once a month, every year, or all the time.
I 100% believe that, bruh. Do you remember that, that one podcast he did with us? And that's all he did was quote lines from the movie.
I was gonna say, is that why he does that all the time?
And trust me, he knows every line.
He'll be like, "How you doing? How you doing, Hitman?" He'll be like, "Till all are one."
I'm like, dude. Oh yeah, in the podcast we did. But he's like, he was telling me everything about like every hair metal song in this movie, and I was like, yeah, they're all catchy. Everything there's not a single moment in this movie where there wasn't music playing at all. I mean, I don't think there was a lull in the music at all.
Oh, it's right in your face,
bro. And it's right there all the time. Even the one, I can't remember the song that they were singing when Hot Rod and Cup were fighting the tentacle monster thing in the piranhas.
Yeah,
I forgot what music that was. That was awesome. I mean, even that music, I was
all
just
the
like,
way through, man.
wow, all the way through. So yeah, it's as a kid, even though I cried through the second half of this movie, and I did. My mom had to take me out like once. I don't know what part I missed, but I'm pretty sure I missed a part. I saw it again years later, but it's just that music stuck with me too. And you can hum it, you can sing it. I mean, you got the touch. Oh my God.
So what's your favorite one?
My favorite out of all of them is it's Weird Al Yankovic's Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah.
Gotta be stupid. Gotta be stupid. It's just
their little like circle jerk or whatever. Like, I don't know.
So weird.
It's a film, man.
It's so weird. And it feels so out of place, but at the same time, I'm like, they needed a moment of levity because they've been fighting this whole time. They've been fighting this whole time. People have died.
They literally just had people die, right?
And we
were talking about the Star Wars references, and we didn't get to this in structure. I should have written that in my notes, but like they literally have lightsabers. Hot Rod's supposed to be Luke. RC has the Leia buns. Like it's like, I mean, Unicrons, the Death Star. It's pretty obvious they were kind of like, let's just kind of
take Star Wars because Star Wars is awesome.
Fix it, even if it don't belong to us. But yeah, ultimately though, what does it all belong to toy wise? Hasbro. So ultimately, it all does work together. What do you think, Mike? What do you think about the whole soundtrack and score, and what's your favorite song?
I really don't have a favorite song. Actually, I don't know what the favorite song is because it's one of the instrumentals. That's what really keeps this movie flowing and the pace going. Is the instrumentals. Like you get Dare and the touch and Dare to Be Stupid and then the theme, but it's the instrumental tracks that really just drive this movie home. So
yeah, that score, man.
And
like
then,
you said, same guy that did Rocky 4, and you can feel it, man. It's there. Like everything is just like hair.
and it's
all of it.
And one of the cool things too is that because Strickland was like, I'm not gonna watch this movie. And I was like, yeah, but it's got a great soundtrack.
I'll tell you this, he'll love it. He'll love this.
He'll love this movie. But then it's also because we did when the touch came on, he's like, this was for Transformers the animated movie. It's like, yeah, he's like, I had no idea where this song came from. I've heard it before, but like I didn't know this is what it came from. It's like, yeah, like this soundtrack is killer. And we listened to it that one day at work, and then that was about it. So I don't think since he was going to go watch it, I don't think he was watching it. He didn't repeat it much.
Oh, trust me. In the next week, it's going to be on repeat, bro. Because when I watched this movie last night, I watched it late. Okay, I had the show with Manuel that wrapped up around 10.
Yeah.
I made some dinner. I watched this movie, and it got me so hyped up that I literally watched another movie afterwards. It has nothing to do with it. It has a lot of things to do with tomorrow night's show of Dylan's Horror Show. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I stayed up till 3:00 last night. That's how much energy I got. How much energon I got from Transformers. Speaking of the energy, the music.
It's one reason why I ignored you because it's just kind of like these you're hyped up on it because I've known you. Like I was like, no, we'll talk about this on
right.
Saturday.
I was messaging Mike probably at like 1:00 in the morning about Transformer toys. He probably realized what was going on. This movie hyped me up, man. It wasn't even just the alcohol. What about you, Drew? What do you think about the score? What do you think about the music? What's your favorite song?
The music is just kick ass, man. Like it just goes the entire time. It's like, and plus it's 80s hair metal, heavy metal, which I love, and then the kick it like just Dare to Be Stupid out of nowhere, and I think it fit Eric Idle's like goofy as shit character and all Retgar and all of his scavengers and
mustache.
the curly mustache. But when I rewatched it, my favorite was Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way. They're listed as Spectre General, but like I was like, that's not a real band, and I dug around and I found out why they were called Spectre General. It's because it's by a band called Kick Axe. And that's why they were in a children's movie, so that's why they couldn't say by Kick Axe.
Nice.
Kick Axe.
That's what. But yeah, I was when I was going through and I heard that, I was like, this is catchy as hell. What is this song?
Hell yeah, man. It's a great song. It literally fuels the movie, right? Speaking of fueling the movie, fueling the stream, we can always rely on Brooks and sometimes Juju. Brooks, what do you think about the music? What's your favorite song?
Well, I mean, like, I think it'd be surprising that I would like the soundtrack to this movie because I always did kind of have like a certain affection for 80s metal, like even like glam metal stuff. Like the sound, like 80s metal just has like a good sound, I think. And like recently, like I downloaded this app thing. It's called Pandora.
I'm done with you, man. I'm so done.
And I made this station called Man on the Silver Mountain Radio. And it's like, so I actually was listening to a lot of this kind of metal like before I watched this movie, like not even realizing that it was gonna, have so much of this kind of glam metal soundtrack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. It's great. Especially my favorite song would be the Transformers theme.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's a great version of it, man. The evil forces of the Decepticons, Transformers! And then they do that weird, like, psychedelic 2001 tunnel thing through the logo.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I want to trip shrooms and watch this movie, man. I'd probably wind up with an existential crisis, but you come out of it a different person.
Probably
Colorful wings, right?
Probably end up with a lot of toys.
Right.
Yeah.
When I order all this shit from Amazon. Anyway, like, what are these emails from Amazon about? I'm just
$600 on toys.
What is the movie trying to say? Ultimately, first of all, let's be honest. The movie's trying to sell toys. Okay. We're over that. We get it. Okay. What is the actual theme? Because you know that one of these coked out writers really had something to say. So what was this person trying to say? It's summed up in 3.5 words. Till all are one. This movie. Now, let me tell you something. I was raised in the church, not the church, like the Catholic church, but I was raised in church and I was raised Christian. And I used to have, when I was younger, a very Pentecostal support group around my family because of where we lived in the community, right? And they literally came into my house one time because I used to wear these like shirts that had like Transformers on them and Thundercats, and I would wear like skeletons on skateboards that said "Bad to the Bone." That's just what I wore when I was a kid in the 80s, right? I mean, we're kids in the 80s. We were radical, So like they came and they like made me watch this whole like video about how like Kiss was like satanic, because I liked Kiss a lot, and like how Transformers was like satanic because they had this whole idea that until all are one, the one world order, right? And so, is that the shirt, Mike? Is that what you're trying to show? Bruh.
Is it Shred to the Bone?
shred to the bone. But so like that was the thing, right? But I really started thinking about that. And that's always had an impact on me. The idea that Transformers were satanic in some kind of way because they represented the idea of the Antichrist and his one world order, his new world order, right? And this is the thing that still is prevalent in the conspiracy theory communities. Not that I know anything about conspiracy theories, right? But it's still out there, and I think it's nonsense. But that has always struck a chord with me. And like, what is wrong with the idea of unification? And it's not where the show leads into, but it's where the movie ends, is the idea that it's the war is over. Now we can try to be one. And the idea, like, why is that line repeated so much? What does it represent? What is wrong with unity? What is wrong with coming together? We all got our differences. We're all different people. That's the beautiful thing about our culture in this world, in this society, right? So why fight? Why bicker? Like, why not have our differences, celebrate our differences, and find common ground? And I think that honestly, some coked out writer in the 80s was trying to make that point in this film. What about you, Jelani? What's this movie about?
For me, it was death and rebirth. It's the death of the Transformers that we knew very quickly, and the rebirth to the new stage of what they were supposed to be and what they were trying to do. Although I never understood Cup because he was never in the original show. I never saw him until this movie.
Oh,
Why are
bastard.
you here?
Well, a lot of characters were new in this movie, right?
Yeah, they're all new, and it was just weird. It threw me off when I watched it as a kid, and I kind of got it as I got older. Because I mean, even when I was a kid, I saw the poster and it had Ultra Magnus on the front of the poster, and I was like, "Why is he there and not Optimus?"
Weird looking Optimus Prime.
You know, that's a weird Optimus Prime. Did he change or something? That's what it was. That's what everybody was talking about. Like, yeah, that's Optimus Prime now. And you know, that would have probably been weird and cool at the same time because we'd be like, new toy, you know. So, but I think it's always been about the rebirth to the new Autobots, the new Decepticons, what they decide, you know, the fate of the universe itself, or the fate of Earth.
Oh, I love it. You're right there on it, man. And it's about the inversion of the rebirth as well, from Megatron to Galvatron, you know? And so it's really got all of that there. You really, really astute, Jelani. For someone who had a grievance about themes last year, you really know how to dig into Transformers.
I could also dig into Josie if you want me to. I could.
We did that last week. That was years ago. What about you, Mike? What's this movie trying to say to you?
I think both of you kind of nailed like the big ones. Till All Are One, it's still a very you can still use that today in today's politics in the world. Like that's still kind of, we're not one yet. And it's just everybody needs to be equal and treated the same in fairness. And like we still have people that oppose that. So, and it sucks. And Delaney nailed it with the death and the rebirth and the reformation, of everything. Don't make a deal with the devil. That's another one, I guess you could say. And always believe in yourself. So because
Hot Rod got the touch.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the power.
Because Hot Rod, like Hot Rod is like the Luke Skywalker. You know, he has a lot of self-doubt. He doesn't believe.
I love how he's supposed to be the biggest character in this film, and none of us talked about him except for he fucking killed Optimus Prime.
You killed Optimus, man.
But it's a cool toy. Let's be honest. I want a Hot Rod and a Rodimus Prime now. And I was looking at the new line of Kingdom. And it looks like they're doing a Galvatron. I don't even want to get into it till later. Drew, what's this movie trying to say to you? And I liked how that rhymed. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Just so you could pull off that rhyme, you're welcome. No, a lot of what Jelani said, and it's like I was just thinking the theme of change. Like there's major character deaths, like the loss of their home, Autobot City, the changes in leadership for both sides, change of location. They're not on Earth anymore. They're all around the galaxy trying to figure out how to get back home, how to stop this from happening. And eventually it's scary. Change is scary. You'll be all right in the end because, you know, that jerk Hot Rod is going to hold up something glowing and he's just gonna
this was an early Marvel production, and a lot of people didn't stay till the end of the credits. But at the end of the credits, fucking Pinhead shows up because he opens the box, right? And he's like, "You called, you came," and whatever. Brandon says, "I feel like a big part is Hot Rod learning that actions have conferences." That's right. Whenever somebody has like some corporate dude has some kind of action to make, I got to make a conference about it.
Have a meeting.
That's right.
Gonna have a meeting. Speaking of ridiculous bureaucratic meetings, Brooks is always trying to have these ridiculous meetings that mean nothing for PCP, and none of us ever go to them. It's always just him and sometimes Juju. What's this movie trying to say? What's this movie about, Brooks?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if like it was necessarily the intention, but like I get the kind of the thing that resonates with me is like kind of the callousness of the human like condition towards like certain forms of life, because like the brutality that's done to Transformers in this movie, it's like you would never get away. They would never have gotten away with this if these characters weren't robots.
No.
Like they show them falling into acid and melting, and it's like Jesus. It's like there's just no way. It's like this. It's so like. It's like these the adults who made this movie didn't realize, like, you know, how connected kids are with these robots. So like, kill them. They're stupid robots. Whatever. We'll give them new ones. You know.
Yeah.
That's not
They
how
get
it
ripped
works.
apart by sharks.
Just like he's dead. Oh my god.
Well, maybe it's like actually trying to tell us something about life in general by making kids realize that these characters they love, even though they're robots, can die. And that reaction, like they were going to do the same thing with the G.I. Joe movie. And the reaction to this film, especially by Moms Against Transformers, was a real thing. It was a group called MOT. No.
Matt.
Maybe it was. Yeah, Matt. Moms, like, how did I get an O in that? Moms only.
Applesauce, dude.
Moms
against.
Moms, the applesauce. They became an applesauce company and became really, really popular. But they like G.I. Joe, they were going to kill Duke, and this movie made them change that. But maybe this movie does teach. I think it can teach. It at least teach kids in '86 who had watched Transformers for 2 years about grief. You know,
that's what it taught me.
And that's something that animation teaches kids is grief. There's a lot of animated films that we highly regard. That one of the main themes is grief. Yeah, Up is one of them. I think does it.
Digimon season 3.
Digimon season 3, allegedly. I've heard.
No,
I believe
a little girl goes into a depression because somebody actually dies and doesn't get reborn.
See, that's real stuff that we have to deal with. So, what is this movie worth to you? So, out of 5 possible you digs, and I'm asking you out there in the PCP Army, what do you give the Transformers, the movie from 1986? What do you give Transformers out of 5 you digs? PCP Army and Jelani.
I love this movie. It has nostalgia barriers all over it. I could watch it like all the time now that I've watched it again after missing it for 20 years. But, you know, after watching this again, I absolutely adore this movie. I still can't give it a perfect score. I want to give it a perfect score, but I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I love it. I really think that, but I can't keep watching it because they kill Optimus Prime. So they kill Optimus Prime and don't bring him back. And I waited that whole movie like a little kid. It just goes back. It goes back to me sitting in that chair and seeing it for the first time. I'm like, oh, they're gonna fix him. He's a robot. And it never happened. And I was like, what? So it really got to me. So it's only that. It's a small chunk.
Yeah.
But it's that. So I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5 is very, very high score. What about you, Mike? Can't hear you.
He's muted again.
Oh, sorry. Just on the phone.
It's fucking big.
I had a toy question, man. I was answering a toy question. I'm sorry.
Good job, Mike.
People want to play
questions to answer.
Well, I'm sorry. I got people wanting to play
this show that I committed to fucking months ago.
Delaney was talking. I was listening. He gave it a 4.5. And I was going to say the whole nostalgia thing is not going to like, I'm not holding on to that. I love this movie. It's great. It's got a great soundtrack. Everything I love about it, but it's still the Transformers the animated movie. So it's not in my top 10 at all. So it's getting a 4.
4.
Yeah.
Still a very high score. Out of 5, I mean, that's a high score, y'all. Let's not mistake ourselves. I know we got all askew during Horror Fest by giving too many 5s out to all these ridiculous movies that didn't really earn it. But we're being more critical here in 2021. That's the motto. We're going to be invincible, not just for fun, but critical and whatever. I lost the rhyme there. I am not Etrigan the Demon. Speaking of a nice rhyming demon, Drew, I want you to tell me how many you digs out of 5 you give this film, and I wanted you to do it in a rhyming fashion or not.
Since I've seen this movie before, I'll give it a 4.
Nice.
You can't write 4 with 4.
Before.
A4.
But no, and this is it. Like you judge it like it's harder for me to give out like 5s because it's like there are very few 5s for me. Like it's like I want to watch it every day. Like anyone's up for it, down for it. Like that's a 5. In comparison, just for somebody, it's like Michael Bay movies, like Michael Bay Transformers are a 1. So this is that much better. Bumblebee's probably a 3. I thought it was much better. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
I have to check that. I'm sure that one day I will somehow be convinced to do a Transformers franchise movie review.
Just skip last night, dude.
Yeah.
Nah,
never
bro.
Watch it. I've never watched it.
If we had to make it through Mission Impossible 2, we can make it through any Transformers film and any Fast and Furious film, I believe.
I would much rather watch Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2 is 5 compared to last night.
I don't know. Anyway, Brooks, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give the Transformers, the movie from 1986?
I give this movie a 4. I liked it a lot, but it's so busy trying to, keep your attention. We got to keep the kids, interested in the movie that it kind of forgets to, actually just be a story sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just one action scene to another. But I mean, it's still entertaining despite that. And the soundtrack helps a lot. So yeah, let's say 4.
I'm right there with the majority of us here at the Excitable PCP crew. I'm going to give it a 4. I think I would have given it a lesser rating 20 years ago when I first watched it, but I love it. It's got a great, right now at this time in my life, I don't know if this is midlife crisis. I hope not. But I'm just loving this trip back to the 80s of metal, of Cobra Kai, watching Transformers, watching Buckaroo Banzai, watching 80s slasher films with Dylan over at Dylan's Horror Show. I'm just loving this trip back to a time that I don't even remember that well because I was born in 81. So I mostly remember the 90s and just I have a memory of the 80s, right? And always feeling like people that really, I had a best friend in elementary school whose big brother, right, was so into 80s hair metal and horror films. And I would love to go into his room. He had a cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger. He had all these t-shirts for all these horror movies. He had Jason's and Michael Myers and all the shit around. He had this badass stereo, which back in the 80s meant he had these 2 giant speakers and this crazy whole contraption that took up half of his room. And he would just play that stuff. And this takes me back to that. So I'm giving it a 4. 4 to me is really solid. I think it's pretty near state of the art as far as animated movies could have gone that were based on TV shows in which the animation company was also working on the next season. There are moments that are amazing, and somehow, they pulled it off, and they got Leonard Nimoy, and they get Orson Welles in this movie. So I'm going to give it a 4. So a 4 from me, 4.5 from Jelani, 4 from Mike and Drew and Brooks for a PCP average of 4.1. 4.1, 69 dudes. Anyway, let's see what the chat says. I got to go back a little bit. Joe Slag says 5. Twitch says 4.5. Stefan says 4.5. No, Stefan says 5. My bad. Sam Fett says 4.5. Mikey gives it 4 Michael Bays out of 5. I like that. I think of Michael Bay, though, I think it should be 3 Michael Bays out of 5 because I think a Michael Bay as opposed to a Ya Dig is worth less. Does that make sense?
One of them exploded. That's why there's only 3 Michael Bays.
Arminio says 5 Ya Digs. Perfect score. Hell yeah. And we got Fable. Fable says 5 Ya Digs inspired a generation, even being critical. That can't be downplayed. Absolutely. Okay. So that's what we thought about Transformers. My bad. The Transformers, the movie from 1986. So thank you guys so much for joining us, PCP Army Station. Next week, we have a really fun and exciting PCP movie night because it is, in fact, a poll winner. So our latest poll in the PCP Army on Facebook. So if you're not a part of the PCP Army, it's our private group on Facebook, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. We do polls there every so often. In fact, tomorrow a new poll pops up for our mini horror fest in March, which we are calling March Madness. So that poll will be popping up very soon. But the winner of the last poll is what we are covering next week, and it is Big Trouble in Little China. And I'm very excited. I believe Dylan will be joining us. Speaking of Dylan, tomorrow night on Dylan's Horror Show at Dylan's Comics, there's a link below in the description so you can check out his channel and subscribe so you don't miss this show. I am the co-host of this every week horror show. And tomorrow night, we're doing a double feature movie review of Slumber Party Massacre Part 1 and 2, which I've watched both of them now. And I'm going to tell you, my life is forever changed. Okay. I'm really excited to talk about those with you tomorrow night, but don't worry, have no fear. We are still here, and we will be back for PCP Back Chat in just a few minutes till all are one.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So
So, got some cool stuff for show and tell tonight. I'd also like to say that my favorite Transformer survived the movie,
mine too.
so I'm happy with that.
Mine's
Well,
Grimlock. So yeah,
I do gotta say that when I said Starscream was my favorite Transformer, I actually misspoke. I misspoke. Soundwave's my favorite. Did he die in the film?
No, he did not.
Soundwave, no.
Okay.
Soundwave doesn't die until the Japanese version.
Now Starscream
Japanese
did come back because there is that episode I remember.
Beast Machine.
Ghost Starscream.
Yeah.
Starscream Ghost.
He also Starscream also made an appearance in Beast Wars.
oh yeah.
Who is the cheetah in Beast Wars? What is that? Yeah, Cheetor.
Yeah.
What is that? Like a version of? Because we got Optimus Primal and we got they all have their iteration.
It was like
I never watched it.
Its own thing.
the rat was one, but I can't remember the rat. The rat turns into something, but it's not.
Rat
it's,
trap.
it's not an ellipsis now. Yeah.
But Soundwave by far is my favorite toy, since Transformers toy ever. I would like to get a G1 Soundwave.
He had a great
But
synth.
they're pretty pricey because I want every single cassette too, and I would like a Sound Blaster. He was in the movie, and Perceptor's in the movie. I like both of them. I would love them if they redid new versions of them. That would be really cool. And maybe they did. They're probably exclusive to some toy shop online I've never heard of.
So you want a blaster and a twin cast? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what you just said to me.
Did you say you wanted a blaster?
I said I like Sound Blaster.
Okay.
Sound Blaster.
And Perceptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the good guy, Soundwave.
His name is just Blaster. I
Oh,
thought that's what they called him.
I thought it was
There is
Sound
a Sound
Blaster. Okay,
Blaster.
just Blaster.
There is
Okay,
a
They
Sound
call him Blaster. They might have just shortened it.
who knows?
Yeah,
But
just
also,
blaster.
Here's the microscope, right? Like I like
yeah,
him.
it's just Blaster.
Perceptor. Yeah.
I like them.
And he lived. Perceptor lived. He was just a microscope.
I guess
and
that
he
was the
really
next
lived.
generation, right? And I think Hot Rod's a cool looking fucking toy. Let's be honest. He was
He's a
just
trash
Judge
character.
Nelson. Like I don't mind he's as much of a trash character as Luke is in New Hope, man.
Yeah, but Luke was a little better. I don't know. He was whiny. He was whiny, but Hot Rod is just he got Optimus Prime killed, man. Luke didn't get Ben Kenobi killed. Let's just put it like that.
But didn't he?
No. No.
Didn't he?
He saw it happen.
He
He
involved in all of that shit just in the beginning, not as directly as
not as directly as Hot Rod did, because like Megatron held him. He was like, "You're gonna watch me kill him, and then I'll kill you." It was weird because it's like he tried to stop him, which I get, but Optimus Prime was too busy talking, and Megatron was too busy talking because Megatron had that gun and he was going to shoot Optimus Prime at the end, but then he waited for him to like double axe handle him in the face to knock him off the side. I'm like, bruh, you could have just shot him.
All right. If you look at the way that's structured, I wonder if Dan Jurgens was inspired when he did the Death of Superman, because it was him and Doomsday, and Superman literally does the whole double hand, like double fisted like thing, and I'm just curious. Just curious. He didn't have the lightsaber was in Hot Rod, and Galvatron had a lightsaber, didn't he? Somebody else did. Was it Galvatron?
No.
Springer had a sword. But when they're escaping, he's training with the dummy, with the other robot.
With the lightsaber. Yeah.
And so he's like, don't we have better things to do than tell war stories? And then Grimlock's like, no, tell more stories.
No, to tell the stories.
All right, so I said that Soundwave was my favorite G1 toy. What's your favorite G1 Transformers toy, Jelani?
Optimus Prime. Duh. Okay. I had him, the first time I ever saw him was at Service Merchandise. And he was so prominent. They had him in the aisle where they have the magazines and stuff, like at the front before you check out. He was sitting right there. And I was like, Mom, that. I want it now. And she was like, "No, you can't have it now." And I of course cried because I was a crybaby kid. And then like 2 weeks later, we went back to service merchandise and he was gone. So I didn't get Optimus Prime. I never saw Optimus Prime again until like 2 or 3 years later. But when I got him, I was like, yeah, because you get the trailer and you get the car. What was the car? Rogue. What is his name? I forgot the little car that comes inside of him.
It's oh my god.
I'm a blank. I think it's Roller.
Roller, yeah.
And but you get all these accessories with that thing, and oh man, I played with that thing till the wheels came off. And then the second one I ever owned was the Power Master Optimus Prime, and I saved my money and went to KB Toy Store and bought Power Master Optimus Prime. He came with a little engine in his chest called High Q. And you get to put it in, and it's like, it activates his other powers. It didn't really do anything but stick in his chest. But it was cool as crap. And, Optimus Prime is by far my favorite Transformers toy. Like, I mean, I own more of him than probably any other Transformers figure.
Yeah, I believe that. What about you, Mike? What's your favorite G1 toy?
My favorite G1 toy was probably Trax, the blue Corvette, for obvious reasons. And Ultra Magnus would probably be number 2. I had the Power Master Optimus Prime also. That was a fun toy. A lot of I never had any Dinobots when I was a kid. I did have Galvatron. That one was fun because he was actually a gun. So he was the cannon, the robot, and the gun. I always wanted the Springer in the Whirl, but I never had those. And it's one of those things too where it's like I want what I had when I was a kid. So, and then some of that later stuff like the Pretenders, some of the Decepticon Pretenders were my favorites that I had when I was a kid too. So Trax would be my number 1. So
interesting. What about you, Drew? You got a favorite G1 toy?
Well, the problem is I'm much younger than I wasn't around for G1. I grew up and the show that was on was Beast Wars, so I did have a Optimus Primal.
That's a dope toy, man.
Yeah, but now that I'm older, like I do want a Grimlock G1. They're like $40, but I want one.
Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind.
That's a lot better when I got back into Transformers in the early days of eBay. The Dinobots were like a complete Dinobot was like $100 a piece.
Oh my god! Yeah,
and it was just like, ooh.
I think the G2 Dinobots are more expensive than the G1s, to be honest. But
well, those are cool because you get slag and sludge in different colors.
Yeah, they're different colors. I think that's super cool. Brooks, you got a favorite G1 Transformer toy?
It'd be Starscream.
Nice.
Starscream is my favorite, I think. Out of all the Transformers I own so far, at least.
He is awesome. He's made an awesome reason,
my friend. I'm a big fan of the Seekers, all the Seekers. I love the idea that they're all the same jet, pretty much. Those slight variations at times with their cone heads, right? But like, they're all the same thing, but they all like seem like they all have their own different personality. It's literally the same toy recolored. Like it's the Fool's game, right? Like when if you ever do a tarot card and it's the Fool, that's somebody buying yet another fucking Transformer Seeker jet, right? That's
remember in Mortal Kombat when they started doing like the palette swap ninjas.
Reptile,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you guys may like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but I like.
We got Rain, Ermac,
Smoke.
Jeez. Hi, we're all the same guy.
That's good stuff. All right, y'all. We're in back chat. So what do y'all want to talk about? Anybody watch WandaVision episode 3 yet?
No, not yet.
I haven't watched it at all.
I know what they're doing.
I've enjoyed one too,
but it's okay. It's okay to me. I know what they're doing, though. I know where they're going, so I get it.
Jelani, in a non-spoilery way, tell us your thoughts on WandaVision so far.
I know where you're going. I know that Wanda may or may not be having a mental breakdown. That could be what it is, but and it's a version of 50s and 60s television, and that's what she's associating with. Or it's either that, or it's someone that's manipulating her into seeing this. Now, I feel like I didn't read the comic book where Scarlet Witch lost her mind, like really lost her mind, and made up a family. If it's based on that,
well, the family stuff happened
with Vision.
Well, that was in the 80s. They did the family stuff, and then they revealed later on that it was all her creation.
Yeah.
The true snap didn't happen until Bendis did Avengers Disassembled.
Yeah.
In a non-spoilery way. So I get that you've only seen the first 2 episodes, Jelani?
Yeah, only 2.
I'm the only one that saw episode 3 today.
Yeah, I haven't seen the 3rd one.
I
don't have Disney Plus like that.
The 3rd one does the same thing. I mean, so
you've been waiting on me.
Yes, I'm waiting on you.
It's on there now.
Cool. So the first episode's 50s, Dick Van Dyke in particular. The second one is 60s, Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie in particular. And the third one is 70s, Brady Bunch. But the third one gets away from, it still does the typical sitcom structure, but it starts getting more into
the story,
the dark mystery of it. And I get where they're going, and we'll see where they progress.
I'm
their
just 80s, not a fan of
their 80s episode is Family Ties. Mm-hmm. Their 90s episode is Malcolm in the Middle, and their 2000s episode is Modern Family. And I think that's it. And at least that's all I've heard so far. So far I'm liking it. Episode 3 made me. I just don't think many people who are used to what the MCU delivers are going to engage in this as enthusiastically, but some people will just because it's MCU. But if you just look at it as, and this was not their plan to be the follow-up to Avengers Endgame, okay? It just so happened that because of everything, this is the next thing, right? Because they're already talking about delaying Black Widow again, right? Like they don't want to pull the Wonder Woman, right? But so I get that, but it's interesting to see that one of their first, and let's be honest, Marvel Studios, they don't really count the Netflix Marvel shows, right?
They should.
It'll be cool when they can count aspects of it, but to see the actual first full on,
they do Punisher.
I get it, but the full on first time Marvel Studios goes into TV, they do something that's a retrospective of television through the decades. I think that's really, really cool.
I mean, and I don't mind that. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind it. I don't know what it is about it that just, like, if you're going to do this, tell me the story outside of this too. Tell me I know you're getting to it.
Watch episode.
When you get to when I watch the first 2, and I'm only basing this off the first 2. Yeah. Like I said, I am not a fan of the first 2 episodes, but I know what you're doing. So because I know what you're doing, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that it'll turn out perfect. But I still wanted to see, I don't know, I wanted to get glimpses of whatever is outside of whatever this is. Because I know they're either trapped in a world or she's in a coma.
It's her Mojoverse.
It's her. Yeah, it's Mojoverse. It could be anything.
No, it's her creating. I don't want to say anything because I'll say what I initially said a few days ago with my thoughts on the first 2. Is that I think that this is her causing. She's trying to create. She's somehow created a reality bubble, if you will, of her perfect life with Vision. Because remember, Vision died. She's going through that, right? So she's created this perfect world with her. And to me, it makes sense because, she's from Eastern Europe, right? In the comic books and in the show. And she's basically creating a perfect life based subconsciously probably on the television she saw, like randomly here and there growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like
are big in Eastern
Nick
Europe.
at Night and stuff like that, right? So I think that's what they're going with, and I like the layers there. But I think it's unfortunate that this is this is the next. This is the first MCU thing we've seen in like a year and a half. I think it's unfortunate because a lot of people are going to look at it and go, "Huh," and be done with it. But I can't really truly judge it until it's all done.
And now,
it should.
A lot of this,
I mean, in the way
I said, a lot of this, if you want to read it, is all in Volume 1 Avengers from issue 164 to 187. If I'm not mistaken. And the big climactic part of it was the 186, 187 issues. And like the early stuff, it's very subplot. It's just you'll read about it a little bit in the story. So, but that's a lot of the Avengers. That's when I didn't start reading the Avengers I started reading the Avengers in the 90s, but I started reading the stuff in the 70s first. So I started in the 70s and then went up to the 80s. And so I fell in love with the Avengers and the X-Men, and that was great. So like all this stuff that WandaVision that they're kind of pulling from, that Bendis pulled from, that he was referring to, is all in this 70s, this late 70s run.
She finds out that the kids are created by her, and then they dissipate, right? And she deals with that. She has to deal with that trauma. Vision's going through this thing where he died and he came back emotionless, right? And he was all like, remember when he was all like white or whatnot?
Yeah.
And and then Bendis brought all that back, but then somehow through craziness, her children survive in the Marvel universe. You know, Billy and Tommy are still out there. Wiccan and Speed, they're out there. So I think you guys will really benefit watching episode 3. We shouldn't have this conversation until you guys watch that. Like episode 3 is pretty. I think it's going to get people a little bit more excited, but I think a lot of people that are done with the show after like the first 2 will be done with it already. But that's what they're doing. They're doing a tribute to the style of sitcoms from each decade, as well as unveiling this story. And I think it's pretty clever.
So one of the things that I was always kind of curious about with this is I know I've watched old 50s, 60s television shows, 70s television shows. I know most of us have, but I know a lot of people, especially the 30 and under crowd, has not. So I was wondering how they would handle this. Like why are they doing it like this? So that was always my question: is how does the younger generation handle watching old 50s sitcoms?
I mean, like, I guess it's the same question we asked about Transformers is who do they think, the Transformers, the movie from 1986, who do they think their audience is? Is it is it people like us, like in our 30s and 40s who have watched Nick at Night and grew up watching these old shows, reruns of Dick Van Dyke and I Dream of Jeannie? I watched all that stuff. So I get these references, but do kids that are like in their early 20s, did they watch these or did they just grow up watching Seinfeld and Friends?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we had the early stages of Nick at Night with the black and white shows. They had like everything that we watched in our teens and early 20s. So I don't think they'll truly appreciate it. That's why I was kind of curious to know what they thought and what they think about it, because it's a very interesting idea because it's essentially a time warp.
Drew, have you watched any of WandaVision yet?
No, like I'm kind of checked out on the MCU and really comic book media in general, just because I'm just burned out, and so I treated Endgame as like an exit, a convenient way out of the door. But from what you're saying about, I figured I was going to like WandaVision, even if it was like close to like some of like the Tom King run and stuff like that, because I figured I'd like that. And from what you're saying, like just experiencing retro television might be neat. Like I'm more interested in that than a lot of the other stuff.
It's got some elements of it, but more focused on Wanda.
That's fine.
Definitely. But Paul Bettany's really good in it. Like,
yeah, he's really good.
He does more as Vision in 3 episodes here than he's done yet.
Not shocked.
He gets to do just straight up comedy, like slapstick comedy, to like really like nuanced moments.
He does a great job. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I know where the story's going. I like Wanda in this movie or in this show, and I love Vision. They are, they're of course the crux of the show, but they do carry what is being presented really well. So I like them both. It's just I'm just not a fan of the structure of what they're doing. I know where it's going. Like I said, I keep saying it, but I just want to be sure. Like when it comes to its climax, I want to be like, oh my god, I pieced it together and that was made sense. And I know it will because it's the MCU. I'm not against it.
We'll see what happens. Right? Stay tuned for more of my thoughts on more of my spoilery thoughts on the first 3 episodes of WandaVision on Sunday night's Rockin' Robbie Live in a brand new segment that's going to go on until the continuation of WandaVision called A Critical Incision on WandaVision. Narrated by Robert Stack. I'm just kidding.
You need graphics.
I got to do that. I guess I'll probably do that Sunday morning. So, moving on, what are you watching right now? What have you been watching and absorbing this week in pop culture, whether new or old, Brooks?
Well, I watched last night. I watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World again, the movie on Netflix. I think that's probably one of my favorite movies now.
It's so good.
I watch it, like that movie is so funny. It's just I just love that movie so much, you know.
It's so underrated too. That makes me so mad.
And actually, like the reason I decided to revisit is like they put out the video game on the Switch, like
it's back, baby.
A while back, yeah. It came out like years back
on
then,
PS3.
like, disappeared, and now they brought it back. So I was like, I've been playing it, and like it got me wanting to watch the movie again. And man, that is such a fun movie.
Yeah, that game has an incredible soundtrack by Anna Managuchi.
I just rewatched or reread the comic book to be on there's a podcast called Geeks Unleashed, and they do a book club, like a book of the month comic book club, and they were doing Scott Pilgrim, and so I got to be on that show and I got to revisit that, and it's that movie. Like the book makes me want to watch the movie, and the movie makes me want to read the book. They work so well as 2 different versions of the same thing, and they capture different tones. They basically have different methods to go about to capture the same tone, and I just absolutely love both the comic and the movie. Though I do still think Michael Cera is miscast as Scott Pilgrim if you read the comic.
Yeah,
he'd be way more charismatic. Scott Pilgrim's more charismatic than Michael Cera is. He's not as awkward. There are awkward moments in the book, but he himself is not a necessarily awkward character. Yeah.
I like that. I love that movie. I love how normal that movie turns, and then it turns into a video game. Like the second the first boyfriend shows up.
It's just like in the comic. Like when it happens, they just accept it.
It's just like, okay.
Evan's character doing that fucking grind down that like iced up fucking rail. You see the coins.
And Scott's just like, oh, coins.
Oh man, pay my bus fare home.
It's only $1.35.
I love that show, man. I love that movie.
Drew, what have you been watching this week?
This week, been watching some One Piece because I'm on that eternal fucking journey.
Good job. 10,000 episodes. Good luck with that.
Well, in English they're up to like 650, and I'm there. But also just every week, as long as it's coming out, The Expanse, the best sci-fi show on TV. Other than that, just keeping up. I would just watch the movie Run with Sarah Paulson.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It hits entirely different if you've ever been paralyzed, because it stars like an actual paralyzed girl. But yeah, other than that, just watching as it's coming out some anime and stuff. That's what I'm into right now.
I gotcha. What about you, Mike? What have you been watching?
I'm still on this HBO Max kick. CC Sebastian's story Under a Grapefruit Tree, the Andre the Giant story. I'm just going back and looking at what it was. The new Tiger Woods documentary. Stuff like Eastbound and Down. Rewatching Deadwood. Watching Rome. I never watched Rome. It was really good, but I'm watching it.
It is really good.
It ends on a cliffhanger, and they never resolve.
Unfortunately,
I know. That's why I've always kind of
That's why I
avoided
never
it.
watched it.
Badass
No.
HBO shows from the early 2000s. They just ended them.
Canceled
They're,
This
like,
costs too much money.
we don't have the budget for this. And then like years later, they're like, Game of Thrones, as much money as we can throw. Who cares? We just won't pay the writers.
Deadwood, whatever. Have a movie.
And the movie's good.
I
The
know.
movie's good.
I haven't seen the
real
movie.
good.
Deadwood. That's why I'm
You haven't watched
rewatching.
Deadwood yet?
That's why I'm rewatching. I'm
He's doing
rewatching Deadwood right
Oh,
now. I'm in season 3, but I've been bogged down because I'm doing Dylan's horror show. So this week, I watched a bunch of horror movies. Like I did a triple feature on Sunday because I just was wanting to just veg out, right? And so I watched The Stuff, which was fantastic. I watched Society. Oh my goodness. Society is the most cracked out movie. That's the movie we're going to do for Horror Fest this year. That's going to fuck Jay Strick up. Okay. He's going to quit doing videos for 2 months after that video. I mean, after that one, trust me, that movie
Like
is
Reanimator?
it's worse. It's crazier than Reanimator. It's done by Brian Usna, who was the producer of Reanimator. Society. It's on Tubi. Bruh, I think it's on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. Y'all need to watch it. Watch Society. It's wild. Then I rewatched House, not the TV show, but the horror movie with George Wendt.
Yeah.
I watched that. I don't like that as much as 2, but I'm going to watch 2. I watched Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2 this week, and we'll talk about that tomorrow night. But I've been treading through Deadwood, trying to get through season 3. It's dope. I still love it. Season 3 is more intense. I've only seen season 3 one time, so this is my second watch through. And watching it all together as one chunk, it's so intense. And Hearst is more of a villain than I remembered him being. He is incredibly threatening. Yeah. So that's pretty dope. Aside from that, Hell's Kitchen, Drag Race, they're back. Station for that. I'm so thankful. I haven't caught the newest Hell's Kitchen, but I'm about to be checking that out soon. But that's what I've been watching. What about you, Jelani? What have you been watching?
I've been on this Gundam kick. There's so many Gundams. I know.
So many.
Yeah. Thank you, Drew.
You have my attention.
Yeah. I started watching Gundam Zeta. Gundam Zeta is it's okay. It's got its moments, but I watched Iron Blooded Orphan. Well, no. I watched Iron Blooded Orphans on Netflix, and I love Iron. I think that may be my favorite Gundam. And people hate it. I was like, why?
A lot of people hate it, and it's like everyone that I know that have actually like watched Robbie kicked out because we're talking about Gundams.
Yeah,
how shall we say it? I'm nominating myself.
Dude, I like Iron Blood Orphans. I thought it was great. I watched it on Netflix too.
I love it too. I love all the robot designs. I have the Barbatos, the Master Grade. It's one of the best models they've ever made.
Yeah,
and like I'm building the Gusion Rebeke full city. It's like all of the designs are so cool, and like Mikazuki is very tragic, and only character to smash in a Gundam.
I don't even know where to start with Gundam, man. There's so much of that shit, man. I was like,
I just did a Transformers review. You talking about?
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just saying, like one day I pop onto my favorite app on my smart TV, and I'm just like, what's all this Gundam shit? And I'm like, where's Drag Race at? I'm missing it. Where's it at? And anyway, it's fun stuff. The other thing I forgot that I was doing is lately my pre-bedtime ritual is watching ESPN 30 for 30. I started with episode. I watched all the basketball documentaries, and then I just started with episode 1, and I went through. And I just watched last night, finished up the documentary about how Donald Trump fucked up the USFL.
Yes.
That was a great episode. That was a great episode.
He sued him, yeah.
Yeah, it's like his whole point almost was like to sue the NFL, and they got like $3.
Yeah.
Just screwed himself over.
Oh, that was fun. Anything else aside from Gundam, Jelani?
Well, yeah, Thanks, man.
Do you have a Gundam wall now in your house that we don't know about?
Well, I used to have Gundams. I made models of Gundams years ago.
Gundams back in the day when they were like I thought Gundams went out in the early 2000s because they came and then they
bro.
died out, but then they came back again, man.
They did, but my mom, I had tons of Gundams. I had master grade, like everything, and my mom came in my room one night and knocked over all of those models and like destroyed them. All of them, like hundreds of dollars of freaking Gundams. So I have yet to build a model. I have yet to build another model again because I put so much time and effort and paint into that stuff.
Having that happen is so much worse than like the toy, like Robbie's toys.
Yeah, I was in college, so I was like hurt. I was like not grown man hurt, but like semi-adult hurt. And it was like what?
Not grown man hurt, but semi-adult hurt. Okay.
Master grades are like $40 to $60 a piece, and you have to build them over a couple days.
People buy like $200, $300, $400 model kits.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
I can't imagine. That's crazy. Brooks, you've ever been in the model stuff? I know you got into them a little.
I did Gundams for a while. Like the only Gundam series I ever watched was Gundam Wing. Back when it was like popular on the Cartoon Network.
By far the most favorite American one. Like it makes so much money in America.
Yeah, it's just the story is just like you flop around way too much. There's way too much going on in Gundam Wing, and it's like the characters have weird motivations. Like one minute we're for the colonies, and then the next minute they're like, "Hey, we're gonna fight with the Earth now," and I was like, "Oh."
Trace Kuchinada is a badass because he has the only good idea in most anime things. It's like, no, to get world peace, I'm just going to kill all the warmongers in the world, including myself.
Yep, we gotta go. But other than Gundam, me watching, I rewatched Watchmen again.
Good.
Really the movie or the show?
The show. Okay. I absolutely adore that show. It was culturally poignant. It looks like it was a rightful successor to Alan Moore's book, to the actual story, and it feels amazing. And
Dave Gibbons was involved with the production, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I've been watching. Well, I've watched a few movies. I just can't remember any of them off the top of my head now. But I watch a lot of stuff anyway. I've been watching the news more than anything else, though. So, there is that.
I would advise you
poor
to stop
man.
doing that, man.
I have to stop. It's been
stop watching the news. Just
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to get back into the models, that's not Gundam.
No.
Get the Voltron ones. Voltron.
Oh, that's cool.
What brand is it?
It's the same ones that are done by Bandai, I think, or DWA.
I got the Gundams. I have the Gundams.
DWA. Which DWA, Drew?
DWA. I'm not sure. Bandai's done like a bunch of like non Gundam stuff recently. Their Digimon ones are really good. Their Evangelions are outstanding.
Yeah.
DWA. Drunks with attitude.
Woo.
I got the box on the other side of me. I can find out real quick.
Straight out of Huntsville.
But I've enjoyed doing the Voltron ones. They've been great.
So it's a straight model, or you just you put them together?
Are we gonna talk about models for the rest of the night? I'll dip out for like 30.
You should be so lucky.
We talk about basketball and baseball every 5 minutes, so we can't talk about models. Get out of here! Get out of here!
You sell them, dude. You got to know something about them.
Nothing about them, bro.
Like you can take the
when Robbie doesn't care about something, he doesn't care about it.
He doesn't care about it. Yeah, true story.
So, like they do the individual model, and then like you can put the legs on. Like I got to get the box. It's behind Skeletor. But you just pull these off, and then you have the lions, and then you can just actually make Voltron. They've got this Voltron, and they've got the Netflix Voltron. And I've heard something about them trying to do the Voltron 1 with the cars, but I have not seen anything with that.
The cars.
So
I still want the cars to be.
But
that's what Legendary Defender was supposed to move on to, but I guess they haven't. They either canceled the show or I don't know what happened after
I don't
that.
think
But
they're renewing it. Yeah.
yeah,
Look, I
they
never
were
got
supposed to get there.
I never got the Netflix lines or the reissues that they did, and like this really just fills the Voltron void in my
Gotcha.
collection that I appreciate. So it's just like I don't have to have the big one or
I have the big.
super huge
Almost all.
the
I think I have
panache place. I don't have to have the panache place one. Like this one does the job. The panache place one is cool. That Matty Mattel one is cool, but like I don't need
don't need that much.
I can't spend $1,000 on a Voltron.
All you need is a representation.
So this is the perfect representation if you're trying to get a Voltron fix. So now Robbie's sitting there being like, "Do I really want to buy one of these things now? Like, can you order me one?"
He doesn't. He likes Power Rangers.
I see some wrong opinions. Some wrong opinions in the chat saying stuff's better than Gundam, and I'll raise you one giant walking one to step on that opinion.
That's right.
Ain't no giant walking or giant statues of Voltron or Transformers. Give me the unicorn with the lights and the music transforming in the square.
Absolutely.
True. And the sad thing is like when Robbie just needs to start with Iron Blood Orphans or.
That's what my friend started with. She loved it.
You start with Gundam Wing, MS-08, or even
8th Mobile Suit Team's so good.
Yeah, and it's only what 6 episodes.
It's an OVA. It's like 13.
Yeah, so like if Robbie watches that, like he would understand everything, and he'd be like, "Oh, cool!"
Like
it's Vietnam with robots.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, there's plenty of places for him to start. He just doesn't want to start it.
Yeah, he can pick anything. But I watched Robotech. I also started, the Macross Saga at least. I only watched the Macross Saga. Everything else is useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else is useless. And past that, I'm just like, oh, well. And Robbie's frozen or pretending to be frozen. He's been frozen.
Look how long I held that, though. Jesus.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't want to breathe. But, yeah, I watched Robotech, Macross Saga, and the best part is with the worst character. I hate Min May. I hate Min May. I hate Min May like I hate Min May like I hate Min May. I hate Min May. But Min May has the best scene in the entire show because she's the one that sings the song that distracts everybody to stop the Zentradi. So she's all like, "You're a winner, chicken dinner." Man, that song is awesome. And I'm like, yeah. And she's singing it like, they're like, what the hell? And they're all been blown up, but she's singing it. And I'm like, yeah. But I hate me some Min May. Other than that, I can't stand me no Min May. That useless ass, singing ass, stupid ass. Oh, I love you, Rick, but I don't love you. I tried to love you, but now I don't love you. But I'm a singer, and I want to be
a face, right?
Shut up,
All right, y'all. I'm not trying to segue,
okay,
but we got the chat really there's something I want Jelani in particular to speak on, and everybody as well.
No.
Here we go.
Is Wonder Woman 84 better than Batman versus Superman? Me, no. What about you, Jelani?
I've never watched BVS, so I'll say Wonder Woman's better because it doesn't have Ben Affleck in it. How about that?
So his opinion is invalid?
I don't give a shit. Watch me not give a shit. Here it is. Don't give a shit.
What about you, Mike?
Martha, why did you say that name? Why
you said you hadn't seen it, so you just know you're just.
No, I know about Martha. I know about Martha, and I know about
Martha. No, you don't. Because if you watched it, you would know about Martha, but you don't. BVS is way better than 84.
Alistair.
Oh, Alistair, I'm holding you. Alistair. I think that's way better. Why did you say your name? Why did you say your name?
Why did you say that name, Unicron? What about you, Mike? Is Wonder Woman 84 better than BVS?
I said BVS is better than Wonder Woman 84.
Okay.
That's probably the best DC movie.
I don't know about that.
I can't say that. Shazam was way
better. What's better than BVS?
All DC movies.
Aquaman.
I like Aquaman better than both of those.
all DC
Aquaman.
movies, like Christopher Nolan did, I think, a couple lesser known
the
Batman.
DC
Okay. Well, I mean, of the modern DC era, you know what I mean. Of the
Oh,
modern
Man of
DC.
Steel, even though it's trash, it's Man of Steel's better.
But they started to create.
I would say BVS.
But I'm saying, like, Wonder Woman's technically part of this shared universe. So
Yeah.
BVS is part of the shared universe. So the Nolan films, yes, hands down, by far the best. But of the shared universe, BVS is the best.
What about you, Drew? Is WW84 greater than BVS? And I love the abbreviations.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what it was. That was
Nah.
the title of the movie when it came out.
Like, what's
Okay.
the purpose of making one of these movies if we can't abbreviate it?
I don't know. I like them both not a lot, but I'd rather watch Batman vs Superman because there are better like individual scenes that I could watch.
There's an Arkham Asylum
Like,
fight
so
scene. in it.
honest, Drew. That's so painfully honest. I love it.
Yeah, it's like I liked Wonder Woman the first one a lot, and it's like the second one I was like, man, I'm just not into this at all.
I am fascinated by the choices made in that movie. Still,
Yeah,
I
but
love
it's like no, I like Shazam more. I like Aquaman more. I like Birds of Prey more.
yeah, Birds of Prey. Actually, Birds of Prey. Maybe I really like Birds of Prey. Like,
I know, shocking. Lo and behold,
I've seen
I
Deadpool.
like-
I mean, I'm
I like both of them more than the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad. Though.
Every time I watch Birds of Prey, I want an egg sandwich. Man, that means something to me, dude. So
I'm from the north, so that's like an everyday thing for me anyway.
I look like a good
I'm
egg
from
sandwich.
the north. The war of northern aggression.
He's from beyond the wall.
My favorite. I mean, DC all together, whatever. Brooks, real quick, is Wonder Woman 84 better than BVS?
I like Wonder Woman 84 better than BVS, but I have a pretty low opinion of BVS.
Yeah, same.
Like, I don't think it's necessarily like a terrible movie, but it feels like a chore to watch for me. And like,
Oh, don't worry, they're making it longer.
I actually like Justice League better than BVS.
What the what? What?
Brooks, you
You
my
just
boy. You are my
Man,
boy.
broke me.
Oh,
Justice
that's awesome.
Better
That's
than BVS.
That's a great
I
assessment.
feel like the entirety of
It's
PCP's
very good, dude.
existence, which is 5.5 years, has been plagued by this damn BVS shit, man. And I'm kind of tired of it, but Brooks really just broke me there. You like Justice League better than BVS?
I think the only movie I placed below BVS would probably be Man of Steel.
Wow. That's all. Hey, Brooks, I love
By
your
the way,
opinion.
I want
I
to point out
respect it.
the only DC book Brooks consistently reads is Batman. By the way,
And Justice League.
Yeah.
only for the last few years.
Well, since the Doom 52.
Snyder, no, since New 52,
Yeah.
you made it through all that bullshit between Johns and Snyder.
Yep.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Hey,
You're
ride or die, dude.
You're worth it, man. Ride or die.
You're worth it, dude. Well done. Yeah, but BVS is
Justice
straight
League
trash.
was not better than BVS. Y'all
It was
are
totally
fucking
better.
out of your mind. I'm
I
sorry.
think it's better. I think it's better.
I've lost
You're out of
faith
your mind.
I've lost faith in the crew and the army. BVS, are you serious? Oh my god.
Suicide Squad is better than BVS.
No, it's not. Let's calm down. Academy Award-winning Suicide
good.
Squad.
It's not better than BVS.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's Academy Award.
I'm just gonna
It
say
is
it.
an Academy Award. Yeah.
I'm tired of justifying it. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, Suicide Squad would be under Man of Steel.
I think BVS, the Ultimate Cut,
Under the
is
jail.
really good. I really like it. That's just me. So
You gotta watch the revisionist history to like it. Just because I like
I
Daredevil.
don't care, man. Like
That's
if
like-
I like the director's cut
Coolio
of
in
Ben Affleck's Daredevil, I like the director's cut of Ben Affleck's Daredevil because it's got Coolio.
Why
in
do
it.
you need a director's cut for every
I don't
Ben
care
Affleck
if I need
movie?
the director's cut. I like the director's cut. I don't.
cut. Why?
It's like Watchmen, man. You got to watch the 6-hour movie
gotta
version with the
I
Black
want
Freighter.
you rather- Wouldn't
And
you
with the
rather
Black
watch?
Freighter.
Wouldn't you rather watch the Transformers, the movie from 1986 with the shit in there?
No, because I want an hour and 20-minute long movie.
Yeah. Transformers. Yeah, sorry, but yeah. See, the DCEU was a flawed experiment to begin with. They gave one guy to put him in charge just because he made a Superman movie. They put him in charge of the entire universe.
Watchmen movie and a Dawn of the Dead movie.
With no plan. Yeah, no plan. No, visually, you look great. But substance,
does it?
Story, you don't have it. It doesn't.
No,
it's not there.
I'm so pumped for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I think it's going to be the most amazing 4-hour movie I've ever seen. Because Seven Samurai is less than that.
I just don't care. I could not care, dude.
This dude's making a Justice League. This guy's making. They're giving Zack Snyder the chance to make a movie, another chance to make a movie longer than Seven Samurai. Like, that's crazy. I love it. I'm excited.
It's on HBO Max.
Whatever. I don't care what y'all think, man. I like all Zack Snyder films except for Sucker Punch.
But then again, I'm just out on comic movies in general. Like, I didn't see the last Spider-Man.
What a terrible view on the future. Drew, do you think it's
because that's all the future, dude.
What about it? Is it the oversaturation that's bothering you? What's bothering you about it?
Probably. That's why I said, like, Endgame is just an easy exit. Like, I just don't have to care at all. It's like it's an arc that's ended. Like, I'm done. Like, I can drop the book. Like, I can move on to other stuff. I can. It's like Black Widow. Do I care about that movie? Or no. It's like, I don't care about like any of the upcoming things. And it's like, apparently they're making the Doctor Strange multiverse movie. They're making it safer instead of more wild, like the dude originally wanted it to. And it's like, I care less. It's like, there was one that I cared about.
That's what WandaVision is supposed to lead up to. I'm thinking WandaVision leads up to the multiverse.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying because she's in, both her and Monica are in Doctor Strange. So
yeah. Oh yeah, Rambo.
Yeah, she's in she gets a lot more to do in the third episode. I love that everybody's ganging up on me. Like, Sucker Punch is not better than Batman versus Superman.
DBZ live action, that's just wrong. You're just bullshitting.
The only good thing about DBZ live action is that Spike's in it.
You can hate it. That's the only good thing about it.
Josie and the Pussycats. Goku
is that dude. He's like, he loves the jour so much. He's like,
yep. I forgot all about that.
We did not mention that last week. You're right, dude. That is. Yeah. That's so freaking funny.
Like, what the crap?
Yeah.
Goku's in this?
And he's in Shameless, right? I think he's in that
Shameless.
show.
Yeah, he's in Shameless. The first few seasons, I think. I stopped watching after a while. It's a good show, but I just stopped watching it. But yeah. Good times, man.
All right. What else? Chat, what do you want to talk about? Let's move on from Gundams. Let's move on from BVS. I'm tired of this conversation. Just wait. No, I'm just kidding. It's just, I feel
bring on the Snyder Cut.
I'm ready for it.
Bring it on. I need 20 hours of my life to go away.
Bro, I'm cool. Let me like what I like, man.
That's what I'm just neutral. Like, I just do not care about anything.
You watch Gundam. All right, I understand.
Don't worry, Julian. You won't be on that movie review, so it's all good.
I'm just gonna watch Jujutsu Kaisen and be happy.
Is there any? Here's the thing. What's the most, as far as comic book adaptations onto the small screen or the big screen, because they're kind of one and the same nowadays, right? What is the thing you're most looking forward to coming out, Jelani?
See, since there's so much, I've been waiting for Black Widow since 1974.
Well, they're going to delay it again, they say, right?
Yeah, I really want to see it. I was hyped up for it. I got the figures for it. It's just it's been overdue. It's long overdue. I love Scarlett Johansson in that role. I really want a cohesive Marvel film. We didn't get one last year, so I feel like I've been robbed of a Marvel movie. I know Drew's not the biggest fan of them, but I want to see Black Widow. I really want to see that film. And I also want to see that Blade TV show with Mahershala Ali.
I'll probably watch that.
But there's a movie. They're doing a movie. And then
it's a movie? I thought it was a show. Oh,
they
cool.
say
As long as they don't waste Mahershala again.
it's a movie, but they want to apparently spin out a TV show called Tomb of Dracula or something like that.
That'd be cool. I'd be about that life. And Disney Plus will do it well. I mean, if they can crush the Mandalorian, I will. I'm about that life.
Yeah, Blade's definitely one to look forward to, bro. I really, you know,
I'm excited.
You know
of course. You want sticky fingers?
I want sticky fingers. Come on, man. The other day I was like fucking going down this like train of 90s hip hop. I went live with it actually on the PCP Army. Join the PCP Army. Sometimes you can catch Robbie's random journeys down 90s hip hop. But there was an Onyx song in there, Slam. Sticky Fingers. I love his flow. He was like mystical before mystical, man. And I really think he did that role justice, man. Whatever. Mike, what are you looking forward to as far as comic book adaptations in the future?
I don't know, like what's coming out. Like I haven't paid attention to I haven't really paid attention to movies to what's going on other than like Black Widow and
Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals. There's all those TV shows. Like was it Lois and Clark show? I guess there's the Batwoman show that just came out, and like there's all kinds of stuff always in production, right?
Season 3 of The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett. Like looking forward to those. Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's like 2 months away.
Yeah,
but like I just haven't paid. Like there's just been so much.
Loki.
I forgot about that. No, God.
It's probably mine. I'm really looking forward to What If.
What? Yeah, that's the animated one, right?
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I just haven't been paying attention, or like I didn't even know WandaVision came out the other day, and it was just like, oh, it's so far.
It's been a year, right?
Yeah. So it's just been one of those like, okay, I guess I'll catch it when I catch it. So I'm not in. There's no. Like, I'll watch it and I want to watch it. And I just remember at a time, like, I was like, I'm really hyped for it. But now it's just kind of like, whatever. Like, I just want to finish Lovecraft Country first. That's all.
All right.
So,
you're behind on that. But yeah.
I like that show.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't have the nice hookupness. Now I've got HBO Max and I can watch stuff.
Just a bit, man. Don't worry about it.
Ask.
Drew.
Because there's too many people already on it.
Drew's not looking for keeping it live. Drew probably doesn't have the superhero comic book adaptation he's looking forward to. He's probably just looking forward to the next episode of The Expanse.
as it should be. No, I'm book adaptations. I'm looking forward to Wheel of Time, and
how long have they been talking about doing that?
Is that an Amazon thing or a Netflix?
Yeah, it's Amazon. They've only seriously been working on it for a year or two, Brooks. Because like they have a showrunner and they're actually like they were filming it before COVID. And now they've started filming it again, and they're about almost done with it. And they've been posting about it constantly.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, it's a guy from, I think he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but like he showed like his copy of The Eye of the World, and it was like beat to hell and like notes all the way through it. And they actually have like a super fan like on set to be like, no, this is how it is in the books, and like they've done all the casting and everything.
That's a lot of continuity to keep up with.
There's like one person where it's like, no, this has to be this way, just pointing at the book. Apparently, it's funny.
What about you, Brooks? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm kind of Eternals has piqued my interest, because it's a Jack Kirby thing, and like it could end up being like a surprise hit, like Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that if they do it right. And like that'd be cool to have more of like Jack Kirby's stuff, like become more mainstream.
I want to see that, but I'm nervous because first of all, we haven't seen anything from it. Yeah. But I know that they don't even know when Black Widow's coming out, so I get that. And remember, every time Black Widow's postponed, so will those movies be. Did you read the latest Eternals comic book, Brooks, #1?
No, I haven't read the new one. I saw that they're putting out a collection of the original stuff. So
yeah, and I'm excited for it.
even if like that's all we get out of the Eternals movie, I mean that's all to the good for me.
No kidding. It's been out of print, trade paperback wise, for a while, Jack. And I get you. Anytime they collect Jack Kirby's work that you haven't gotten yet, I'll make sure you get it.
Yeah, bro.
Right? Because that stuff is great. And I'm glad you expanded out into the fourth world in 2020, man. I'm so glad for you. I'm so happy.
Yeah, like I'm on a mission now to collect like all the Kirby stuff I can.
Dude, I got to let you borrow some things then, man. Or yeah, it's worth investing $100 and something in the Commandy Omnibus. I'll tell you that 100%. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to, right? What are you looking forward to, Brooks? Did we ask you?
Yeah, I said the Eternals.
Oh yeah, that's
right. What if was interesting. It looks interesting too.
Loki's cool too. I think Loki might be neat.
Yeah,
I got one.
Pretty
I just thought
show.
of it.
Drew just thought of one.
I'm interested in the Peacekeeper show with John Cena.
Me too.
Oh,
I'm actually interested. Thank you, Drew.
Forgot about that.
That whole Suicide Squad movie.
And Jay's
it.
right. Invincible on Amazon because I like Invincible.
Yeah,
I forgot about those. Yeah, dude. Listen, and I can't stand John Cena in the wrestling ring, but everywhere else he's great. Like
Dynamite actor.
He's great.
Outstanding.
I don't
Funny
understand.
as hell. He's got less serious, and I think that's done wonders for him.
Yeah. And he's
remember that he's the dude in the Transformer live action movies that's like they're called Decepticons. Shouldn't that be like a red flag to someone?
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah. Bumblebee is fantastic. He's good in it.
I haven't seen that one, man. I want to check it out. I want to check it out, man. I really do.
Okay. Give it a watch, man.
I just really feel like we're gonna have to do that for Action Fest one year because we're gonna be like, we did Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, we did Death Wish, we did Dirty Harry, we did everything we can ever think of. I guess we got to do Transformers.
I will say this: the first 15 minutes of the movie are straight baller. That is what Transformers movie was. It's so baller. And then the only downside to it for me is they kind of put a love story in it where the girl's kind of in love with Bumblebee or something. I have no clue what's going on there. But
Bumblebee doesn't piss on John Turturro, does he?
No, he's not. John Turturro does. But it's
at least there's that.
It's the best Transformers movie that live action Transformers movie. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna make
all right. All right, PCP crew, excitable we are. I will inform you that we have a task ahead of us in which we're going to do an entire one of these movie nights, but it's going to be a failed TV night, okay? So we're going to wind up watching failed superhero movie pilots, like TV show pilots.
Wonder Woman?
We're going to watch the Wonder Woman one from back in the day, right? With what's her name that played Mockingbird?
Yeah.
We're going to watch the Justice League one, the Aquaman one. We're going to watch even Generation X, which was aired as a TV movie.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, so we definitely got to get a hold of some of these, but we're gonna watch them, and we're gonna have a whole night devoted to these as requested from the PCP Army, including that Aquaman one. Woo. Yeah. Ooh, some of those are on a lot of DVDs, like the animated film DVDs and the movie DVDs. Is really weird. And if you get the I think they're on HBO Max, or I don't know if they are or not, but they're on a lot of random things. But failed superhero TV pilots. That's gonna be a thing we're doing in 2021. Probably like in May. Yeah, we're gonna have till May to do it. I'm gonna tie it into my birthday celebration or something, and we're gonna do it. How weird is that? Whatever. Have you ever seen the Justice League one from the 90s?
I think I did.
Guy Gardner and Fire and Ice. Have you ever seen it? Anybody ever seen that?
I've watched it. I think I watched it when it tried to air.
That shit's goofy as hell.
It is goofy because it's not Superman, Batman, Flash. It had Flash in it. It had Flash and Green Lantern and Fire and Ice.
Yeah, and it was Guy Gardner, wasn't it?
Guy Gardner. Yeah, it was Guy Gardner. It was so weird. And it was just, why is this made? And I remember watching it. I think I watched it like once. Or, of course, it was only one time. But
the 90s did not know what to do with superheroes.
Yep, not at all.
Yeah.
They tried to throw like making Ally McBeal.
Like literally,
Like,
I honestly think the
drama.
best
I
superhero film.
wish it was Ally McBeal.
The best superhero
Yeah.
film in the '90s is Blade, and most people would be like, "That's a superhero movie."
Yeah.
I just thought that was like an action movie with vampires.
Thought it was a dude with a sword. Yeah.
Kickboxing vampire movie.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, they didn't know what to do. So, and Brooks, you remember that Generation X one, right?
I do.
Oh, I loved
I
it.
remember that.
And yeah, we're doing the Nick Fury one too with David Hasselhoff.
Wolf.
Because that's the same thing. It was Generation X and that, like Fox, they ordered a pilot, they watched the pilot, and they were like, you know what? We're not going to do it. But it's our original Fox movie of the week tied in to Marvel, right? So that's what. So I haven't seen those in forever. Oh, and here's a bright spot in the whole thing: failed TV pilots for superhero properties. Pride of the X-Men. That's the bright spot.
Yeah. And it's got Wolverine with the Australian accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the bright spot. So there you go. All right. We're about to move on to show and tell. So if we have any questions from the PCP Army, throw them out right now. If you got to get ready for your show and tell, get it ready right now. I think we're always ready, though.
Hold on. I'm ready, but I got to grab more stuff.
Robbie, I'm adding RuPaul, by the way.
What'd you just say?
I'm adding RuPaul right now. That's what I was doing over here.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you, homie.
that and I got informed with a sharp poke to the ribs that the second UK season started.
Yeah, I saw that popped up, so I was appreciative of that too, because the first one was great. I love RuPaul's Drag Race, and I always have every week. I tell Jay Strick, dude, you need to get caught up on Drag Race. Just come over. I'll show you some episodes. Like, you'll love it. It's a really fun show. I love it. And I've been saying this for the last year, and he just realized, apparently he looked it up like a few weeks ago. He thought I was talking about a car show. So the whole time he thought I was weird stretching, because he was like, why would Robbie be into a show about drag racing? And then when he actually realized what it was, he goes, oh.
Oh my god!
You should actually do an episode where the drag queens drag race.
Right? It's one of the.
There's
I'm sorry,
13 years. I'm shocked they haven't.
I got two reality show pleasures, man, and it's Drag Race and it's fucking Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah.
Hell's
I used to love Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen's brutal this year, bro. Have you watched anything?
I haven't watched them yet. I have them all on my DVR. I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch them soon.
Oh my goodness.
Big chunk. But I got it.
I haven't watched the newest one, dude. Like, so like in the first episode, you know how they do signature dish?
Yeah.
All that. They do a randomizer in the first episode.
Oh,
So
fuck.
you don't get to do your signature dish, right? And then they don't cut anybody, right? And then the first episode, they cut somebody like before they even start.
What the crap?
Episode, they cut somebody immediately, dude, and then they cut another person at the end, dude. I'm excited. I love
My
it.
reality show thing is Forged in Fire, just because I love blacksmithing and bladesmithing. It's wild.
Nice.
Because they're like, hey, you gotta build like this 10-inch cleaver or something. You know what? There's a rusty old car right here. Get it out of that. And we're gonna take it. We're gonna bash it into a cow skull. See if it survives.
That's awesome.
It's nuts.
What? What is that noise? You hear that?
It's coming from Mike.
Oh, okay. But
Just mute me.
my guilty pleasure is, of course, another Gordon Ramsay favorite, Kitchen Nightmares. Now they don't make it anymore, but they still do
I see the
24 hours
clips.
going back. But oh man, I rewatch those like hourly because I love him screaming at just dumb store owners that like have no clue what they're doing with a restaurant. Like, we've never owned a
I
restaurant.
love all the
We
Gordon
bought
Ramsay
them.
shit, man. I love every single fucking bit of it. I follow him. I watch a lot of his shit on YouTube.
He's
Film
my
Right
hero.
had a lot of stuff. Amazon for a while on Prime had a lot of his uncensored stuff. And like right now, I'm following along with the new season, like I usually do on the Fox app, but like it's edited, right? So it's censored, so you get bleeps and shit. But like when you get to watch it later on, when they release it uncensored, like it's the best. Like it's just one of my favorite shows. All right, show and tell. So tonight we talked about Transformers. My bad. the Transformers, the movie from 1986. So I'm sure that some of us have themed some show and tell around this. But I want to start tonight with pretty much the toy guy here at PCP Crew. Excitable we are. Mike, show and tell, you're up. Show us what you've got.
All right, so I said Trax was my favorite, and like he's really floppy and loose in the arms. But this is my Trax.
Cool.
One I've had for a while. He doesn't have the flame on the front, so but he's got all of the other original stickers. I need the gun and the missiles. But I thought about getting a reissue one and just kind of retiring this one and putting this one up, and so it doesn't get damaged, and having the other one, the reissue, just out and about. So you guys have, it was my drink. You've seen these before. I've had these. It is the
Nice.
and technically this is Rodimus Major. This was the reissue they did back in the early to mid right around 2010, between 2005 and 2010. It's the Rodimus Major. So it's just the same figure. The feet are different. The sticker color is a little bit different, and there's some difference in the wheels. But everything else, that the figure's all original. Then that Walmart Target, the Walmart one that came out is actually the Target Master Rodimus, because like I found his target, his rifle, pistol, whatever, his laser gun, and it actually fits in there. So I thought that was kind of cool that they used the Target Master mold, and it also has different rubber wheels, different feet. The stickers are a lot different, and so when you get into the details of Hot Rod, there's a lot of differences, but it's still kind of fun. So some new stuff that y'all haven't seen.
Wheelie! That used to
Wheelie's my name. Oh, I hate that guy.
Like, this is probably one of the worst absolute minis out there. Like, this thing is loose as hell too. But like, look how
he's useless as a figure, and he's useless as a character.
So it's better.
GoBot, bro.
This is like almost worse than the GoBot in my opinion. So, but there's that. So then I've got
Blur.
Blur.
Simple.
The
Are you
original Blur.
picking out the worst characters in the movie?
Because this is what I have. I don't have.
You have the worst characters.
You have the worst characters.
Well, I can't find. I saw it the other day and I can't remember where I placed it, but I can't find my Galvatron and I can't find my Ultra Magnus. So they're somewhere around here. I just had them the other day. I can't remember where I put them. So, and I gave.
Fair enough.
I gave Nate, that works with us. I gave him Cup. So like, I'm sure. So
You got Cup too, so you really only have the worst characters?
My God.
Wow.
I brought these out for the movie. I've got more original Transformers.
You know these characters that you hate? I got them and they stink.
So, I got a Bumblebee on card. All right,
Hey,
yeah.
You're not helping.
All right, I'm
We
not
like
helping.
all the ones that died in the movie.
Bumblebee.
Mike. Don't you understand?
All right. Can anybody tell me what this is?
Yeah, man, that's a fucking Codamus Romulus's. No, what the fuck?
And none of y'all know what this shit is.
No, man, that's
I sure don't.
G6, man.
This is Diatlas. The
Dialysis.
Say dialysis.
I said Diatlas.
Two Atlas.
We're just giving a hard time, man.
It's
Dance.
this is from the Japanese. This is from the Japanese one. So this was never sold in the United States.
PCP Army had your back, Mike, just so you know. We're giving you a hard time. The
You
Army
always
had your
do.
back.
You always do. They always do. That's why I love them. So, but yeah,
It's cool, man.
he's a Power Master, It's from like 1991, 1992. So if we stopped with the Beast Wars, this is what we would have gotten instead. So personally, I'm kind of
cool.
This thing. Like,
I like
if you
blue
just
and orange.
If you look up all the Japanese figures, because this is from Transformers Victory. Look at all like it's Wing Saber. That's where Wing Saber came from. A lot of people. He was used in later Transformer episodes. So, but yeah, if you look, like all these toys are dope, and I'd rather have these than the Beastmasters and the Beast Machine personally. So, but yeah, it's stuck to the G1 continuity. You can watch it all on YouTube, and you can get copies of it, but it's all going to be subtitled. So, but yeah, that's what I have.
Very nice. Those are nice pieces, man. As much as we were giving you shit because of the selection, it's just funny because it was like it just occurred to me. All the characters here are showing these are great toys, but I'm like, these are all the characters that like
we just got done telling you how much we hate.
This is Wheelie.
It's great.
This is Wheelie. I love it.
I want that Ultra Magnus though, man. That Ultra Magnus looks dope as fuck.
What is this Ultra Magnus's transformation?
He's a truck.
Yeah, he's a truck.
He's a tractor trailer. Like,
He's like Optimus Prime.
He's a better.
He's a carrier. He's a better Optimus Prime because you can put cars in him. He's a carrier.
And imagine that if Optimus Prime's trailer actually made him, so he actually has a figure that's like Optimus Prime that becomes like a regular ass little truck. But then when you add his trailer to him, he becomes a bigger ass Optimus Prime.
And he becomes becomes Ultra Magnus.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. I used to have two of those.
So that's what it looks like in robot mode.
Yeah.
And then there he is in the truck mode.
He was awesome. His arms like stretched out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that thing. I miss that car. I really miss having that. I don't know where he is now.
There you go. There's what it looks like with the.
Yeah. He looks awesome.
You can do.
That's dope.
So, and I was gonna do that, but I can't find my Ultra Magnus, so I'm sorry.
Unfortunate. All right.
I'll find it tomorrow.
Show and tell. You're up. Show us what you've got.
I did not have a Transformers thing other than my two prints right here, but I'm very proud of this book set that I just got in. And if you've been around, and I'm the fantasy book guy, like along with Brooks, and like that's why our fantasy book podcast is just me and Brooks just having a nice conversation for a while.
I zoned out for like 80% of that one, man.
You and John, don't worry.
Robbie blazing over.
I was like, I like Harry Potter.
Coming down in the corner of his mouth.
Yeah, I was just like, I'd pop in every once in a while and be like, Harry Potter and Narnia.
Well, I got the Kickstarter in for the Stormlight Archive. The Stormlight Archive is like the highest rated fantasy series right now, and he has leather bound books that he puts out eventually, but they did for the 10th anniversary they did a Kickstarter, and within like an hour it was the highest publishing Kickstarter ever, and I think it got up to like $8 million. But cool. I got the leather bound edition. It's such a big book. It's split into 2 volumes. It's The Way of Kings.
Great, bro. That spine is amazing, dude. That looks beautiful.
Yeah, and then it's got like some of the last words in the book. Speak again the ancient oaths, and then in the second volume has the immortal words: life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination.
Bro, you're getting me excited. I feel like I should listen to some fucking like Swedish metal and read those one night.
Bro, I'm telling you that everyone should. Like, they're the highest rated on like Goodreads and Amazon. Like, they're all like the highest rated fantasy series, and it comes with art. Let me try and find some.
Oh, nice.
That's one of the main characters on that side, Dalinar. Yeah, and all. That's what That's the assassin, a white Zeth. Like the first like fight scene, like prequel thing in the book is an introduction to Seth, and it's basically like the Inception fight scene because he can control gravity. So he's just like sticking people to the ceiling and shit, and they're falling, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" But it's very good. I dig the series a lot because it's its main theme is even broken people can save the world. It has a lot to do with like mental health, and like a lot of the characters have mental health problems, and themed around that. And I love it. And that's what one of my friends, she's an artist, she made me this. 100% Hermenio. Read a book.
Right.
That's why she made me that. And like there's all the different orders, and one of them, and like they all take different oaths. And edge dancers, their oaths. Cool. Their oaths are, I will remember those who've been forgotten. I will listen to those who've been ignored.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dead Air presented by Pop Culture Philosophers. We now pause for the station.
We're going to get there, but we did it.
We did it. We always find a way, and we now pause for station identification. All right, moving on. Brooks, show and tell. You're up. Show us what you've got.
Well, the other day, like, I think it was the Wednesday show, like not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, when I was talking, I was wearing my super awesome shirt, and everyone was asked me whether someone asked me if I had any Sailor Moon figures, and I said no. Well, that was kind of a lie, actually. So I forgot I had this.
Oh man, I remember that figure.
That was
it's like a little doll.
My God.
I remember you had that.
I used to like just go to the comic shop and just buy random things like that. Like, ooh, Sailor Moon doll, I'll get one of those. I also got this little thing I got from the Deep like not too long ago. This is my Sailor Jupiter. I also have the two little cats, Luna and Artemis.
Oh, those look nice.
Yeah, they came with like little tiny figures. I used to have the original 5, but I lost them.
I love that this show and tell is kind of like a confessional for Brooks.
I had these.
I have all these Sailor Moon
things. Sailor Moons.
They used to be cool back in the day. I'm so lame now. I only have 2. I only have the cats now. Yeah, I picked this up Wednesday from the comic shop.
Nice.
The She-Ra pop. Well, I looked at it and I was like, that's cool. But that's all like it had a sticker that said glow in the dark. I'm like, damn. So I had to get it.
Yeah, I understand that, bro. I understand. If it says glow in the dark, man, I'm like 50, 60, 70.
Like it's She-Ra and it glows in the dark.
Sign me up.
Like they got the hook in me. And the last thing I got, like I picked this up too this week at the comic shop, was the Savage Avengers.
Nice. What'd you think about it, brother?
Conan meets Doom. Wow.
Wow.
This is you get what I said when I said this is the roadhouse of Marvel Comics?
Like I love how they're like he's eating dinner with him, and like he's like, "What? You're not gonna eat with me? You too good to eat with me?" He's like, "No." I was like, "I just don't take off the mask." Like, "Oh, you're vain?" And so Doom just like, "Well, fuck you."
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a great one though.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Definitely.
Savage Avengers.
We gotta thank the PCP Army for that recommendation. So station, hell yeah. All right, moving on. Jelani, show and tell. Show us what you've got.
I have so many Transformers. All right, we'll start with the fun one. We'll go with little Starscream. I like him. All of these will be in their vehicle modes. I'm not transforming these. It's a lot of work.
Is that the OG one?
This is an OG one. This is the Walmart remake. I couldn't get the OG ones. They're expensive, and I lost all of mine when I was a kid.
Oh, so it's the remake.
But it's all good. Because I also have that Rodimus, or that Hot Rod. They used to talk about this, the Target Master, but I don't have the gun. But it's still cool. He transforms pretty decent. And I like the stickers. But I also have a newer version of Hot Rod that I love. I love this car. He's freaking amazing. And it transforms into a pretty decent Hot Rod. And of course, I have Rodimus from the Power of the Primes. He transformed to a gigantic Rodimus, but I'm not gonna do that. He's just truck mode right now, and this is a pain in the butt to transform. So, but he's awesome. Then I have the newest RC.
Cool.
I think I showed her off earlier.
They didn't do one of her originally, right? She was a new character introduced, but they never did the toy.
Yeah, and I never saw her as a toy until now, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, I saw one video that says she was the Smurfette of Transformers.
Yeah, she's the
Oh,
Smurfette.
no.
I saw the same video, dude. Yeah, I remember that.
Like Brandon something or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
that
Funny
was a good video.
Like tear shit apart. It's funny.
Yeah, he did a great job. And then of course I got Springer, but this is the newer Springer. So I love this thing. He's a triple changer. I had to watch a video to transform him. It was so hard, but he is awesome. He's awesome as a helicopter. He's awesome as a car. He's even better like this because I love that his helicopter blades turn into the swords.
That's so dope. That's so
so
fucking
clean.
dope.
I love this Springer. This is my jam.
Oh, I want that.
And then I have Ultra Magnus, but I have the Siege Ultra Magnus, and he's okay. He's not the original OG one, but I'm not transforming him either. He's a pain in my butt. But I like to keep him in truck mode. I love the truck mode. He looks great in his robot mode too, but I just showing it off in truck mode. And then I've got more. Just give me a second. I've got Astro Train because I want to do I've got Astro Train. He's a great triple changer. His guns keep falling apart. He's awesome though. He's got his moments. And then I have.
How can he fit all of those Decepticons inside of him?
I don't know. You can't. Not this figure, but not a clue. And have Devastator grow and transform in him and have a fight. I'm like, okay, that works.
It's the same reason why
Megatron is tiny and his
Megatron
gun.
gets tiny in his gun. Soundwave gets tiny. Optimus Prime's trailer disappears.
It's just funny.
Yeah. And then I have he's falling apart, but I'll show him anyway. And this is a big thanks to Mike. I have Megatron.
Nice.
And they'll never make this gun again. This is a re-release of that gun from years ago, but
You have so many pieces I want right now.
he's amazing. He's amazing balls. And he works as a gun. He's got bullets and everything. And you can actually fire the gun through the rifle thing. It's awesome.
When did that come out? Which one is that?
This is the G1, but it's a reissue of the G1.
The Toys R Us. They did this. Toys R Us reissue. They did those back in the early 2000s. So that would probably be somewhere between 2000 and 2002.
That's dope.
Maybe even 99, 2001.
Yeah, and Mike helped me out big time by fixing this because the piece was falling out where it would make the gun barrel droop, and he got it to fix. He fixed it. So thanks again, Mike. I really appreciate that.
Problem.
I love this. It will always stay in gun mode. And then
that's actually that Megatron is actually based off the gun from A Man from U.N.C.L.E., the 60s TV show.
Walther PPK. All right, I got two more and I'm done. I'm sorry. One is my Power Master Optimus Prime.
Nice.
This is the first Power Master I ever bought, or the first Optimus Prime I bought with my own money. And then I broke pieces of him. His gun just fell. So
like $50 in 1988, man.
Yeah, it was a very expensive toy. But he's my jam. Haikyuu's in the front. He pulls out. He's a little engine.
Yeah, I like those. Everything that's like a little bit that you can pull out to make another little bit out of. I love that shit.
And then this one, I love this figure. I've cherished this all my life. It's my Optimus Prime. And then finally, of course, I have my masterpiece Optimus Prime.
Dope.
And his fist is in because his axe keeps falling out, but he has the power axe. And this also is my jam. This is my favorite Optimus Prime figure because it's him like 100%, and he is my jam. Yeah, I have Bumblebee too. I mean, it's rare to find Bumblebees, but yeah, he's my jam. And those are my Transformers figures. I just want to show them all off.
Hell yeah, man! Station for that. That was dope. Dope show and tell. I feel like I can't quite follow up what you guys have done.
I forgot the last thing. Hold on. This came with that figure. Oh wait, I don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, that's dope.
Now we're
Oh, we could hear it.
Yep.
God damn it. Anyway, I'm just all right, dude. That's dope, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Great show and tell. All right, I'm up now. Show and tell. I have my Transformers behind me. There's my Gigawatt, right? That's dope. There's my Ectotron, my Optimus, my Megatron, my Seekers, Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker, and there's my G2 Megatron. I have a Skywarp, but I couldn't find it, and I have a G2 Optimus Prime. But moving away from Transformers, we're all about movies, and an upcoming movie review we're doing is Boys in the Hood. So I got my Blu-ray copy. It's like $5 on Amazon, $5, and it's like got special features and stuff. So it's pretty cool, and it's got a really cool.
Hell yeah!
If you open it up, like look at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So hell yeah, I'm excited to review this, and I'm excited to revisit it. Last week, Mike had a very extreme act of kindness and hooked me up with this.
Nice.
Iron Man 20.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Love that. So that's super, super cool. And then getting into the Transformers thing again. I got my Sandstorm this week. Backwards. There's my Sandstorm. So very excited to add that to the collection. I was gonna open up my Thrust tonight, but I've decided to not do it because I don't want to take up too much time. But I'll be opening that up on Sunday then. Once again, I want to show off this. I can't wait to open this up. I'm going to do it soon. But there's my Soundwave. And
congrats to Fable for getting his.
Yes, Fable got one. He shared it in the PCP Army. And the newest Transformers acquisition, y'all. Y'all ready for this? I never even seen a lick of Beast Wars except for when I first came out. And I think I just didn't like the animation. But I'm going to tell you what. Had to get this one, brother.
Yeah, Megatron
as the damn Tyrannosaurus Rex. Are you kidding me? Like I couldn't resist this. This was too awesome. And if you look there, this is the Kingdom line, right? You see Megatron, you see Galvatron, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Optimus Primal. Yeah.
They're gonna do all that stuff.
Yeah, they're doing all.
They're doing all of it.
Look at that.
The show is terrible, I think, but man,
and they're doing that 86 wave, right? So it's like, dude, they're really hitting the mark here.
They're killing me,
bro. Like I said, I don't even care about Beast Wars, but dude, it's Megatron and he's a T-Rex. I'm sorry, I just had to.
Beast Wars, the CGI looks rough now, but I still like the story from it.
Yeah, I just had to get that. And so now by getting that, I got to get the Optimus Primal. That's why I was asking you guys about the Cheetor or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, that one came in.
I was telling Mike last night. I was like, okay, I'm watching Transformers. My bad. The Transformers, the movie from '86. And I was like, I want more Transformer toys. Literally on a stream 2 weeks ago, I said, I feel like now that I have Soundwave, I'm pretty much done unless they do more Seekers.
Lo and behold,
that's out the window. I'm thinking about. I was actually walking by I got some big elaborate Power Ranger pieces, and I walked by one. And it's this big ass train, like a Power Ranger like train that becomes a big robot. And I walked by and I was like, I'd rather have a Unicron than that.
Oh, that Unicron is.
And I was like, wait a second. Like we've had a Unicron at the shop before, and it was pretty fucking cool. But I never saw it transformed. I just saw it in its planet mode. Anyway,
the Energon Unicron.
Was that the Energon one?
The Energon, yeah, or Armada. I can't remember.
Energon, hardly even newer.
Womp womp.
Bump, bump.
Womp, womp, womp.
Anyway, that's all for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us, PCP Army. We are the Excitable PCP crew. Jelani, final thoughts?
Man, I'm glad 2021 is heading off to a great start.
Hank Aaron died today.
It's a great start. Hank Aaron died today, like Drew.
I was trying to be positive.
Good.
We're all about positivity.
Yeah, we're gonna try, man. Drink your water. Check on your friends. Make sure everything is all right. We live in crazy times. We should not be crazy people because of it. That's it. And until all are one.
Mike, final thoughts.
Station. I'm scrolling through the inventory right now, looking to see what's available to order, so I can have this all ready for Robbie to go. But okay, I'm back now. To all are one, be kind. Keep wearing your mask. All that other fun stuff. Just try to survive. Do the best you can do.
Drew, final thoughts.
I thought first I saw Ricky mention he just did it again. Yes, I plan to watch Dorohedoro because I've heard it's nuts and it looks nuts. But yeah, Transformers are good. Yeah, it's a wild looking show. Dude's main character's got a lizard head, but with a man head inside of it. It's nuts. But I don't know. Transformers 1, great. I got distracted by anime talk. I'm sorry. I don't know. Love each other. Journey before destination. Everything's better around the corner.
Hell yeah, right? What about you, Brooks? Final thoughts? And Juju?
Let the dog. Come here.
Thanks for many.
I don't like that, I don't think. Nope.
What?
But,
Was that it?
I'm like the worst at like goodbyes, I guess.
This isn't goodbye.
We should just see you later.
See ya.
All right. Final thoughts for me. You guys ruined it. Till all are one. I mean, how else do you end it, right? But I will say one thing. Dare, right? And aside from that, rest in peace, Hank Aaron. Rest in peace.